All right. So this might be in line with what with the message I left you the other day. I went to the gym, I guess not long ago. And it's very difficult to, like, there's no tznius.
I knew that's where this was going.
There is literally no.
That's the best part of the gym.
I mean, well, here's the thing, man. I'm like sitting there. They have the benches where when you can sit like kind of 90 degrees, like on a bench and just do biceps.
Yeah.
Sitting biceps, free biceps, whatever. So I'm sitting there, and there's like a guy and a girl in front of me, and like the guy clearly is he's doing the same exact exercises I'm doing, and I guess his girlfriend is standing like next to him, and I guess she's doing exercise too, but like she sees that I'm kind of like behind them, but like she insists, she has her like yoga pants situation going on. And she just insists on standing in front of me. And I'm just like looking down at the ground. Like purposely looking down at the ground. If I don't look down at the ground, I'm looking at something else.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And people just I feel like they just don't even have a consciousness. They don't even, we've gotten to the point where people just don't even, like, there's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong. There's no problem. There's like, well, like, what's the problem?
What do you mean by that? I don't understand.
Like, there's they don't understand that there's like a lack of tznius. They don't understand.
We call it derech eretz.
Yeah.
There's no acknowledgement of the human experience of your fellow.
Yeah.
It matters not that, you see, actually, I think we're giving them too much credit, because that would require her to even consider the fact that it might be not the right thing to do, or it might be distracting for you or something like that.
Yeah.
That takes a couple of thoughts, which may not have occurred.
Well, by her, just like with any empowered woman, she would probably say, if I call her out on it, let's say if somebody called her out, she'd be like, oh, it's his responsibility to blah, 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 blah.
Well, no, I mean,
that's his problem.
That's the attitude that it's not in line with reality.
Yeah.
With like, it's not in line with physics. Yeah. I mean, physics is responsible, if you want to call it physics is responsible for biology. Yeah. Right? Biology, we're talking about the facts on the ground. Yeah. Right? So if you're like flashing like an ice cream cone in front of somebody starving,
yeah,
right? Is that nice? I mean, most people wouldn't do that. Yet, actually, I take that back. I'm sure somebody did it and recorded it and put it on their TikTok or something like that. But the point is that it's everything that we're seeing, everything that's being pushed publicly by whoever, all the big money players and the government and their lackeys, right? It's all about disconnecting people from the human experience.
Yeah.
Which means that if she recognized your experience, yeah, right? If she was a human being and she's like, here's a human being, okay, who's different than me. He was programmed to have certain reactions to seeing me or to doing that. It's not his fault. The guy was literally programmed to do this, and it has something to do with propagating the human race. Yeah. Am I gonna can't I be cool and just kind of give him a break about it? Or am I gonna just start driving him crazy? Yeah. Because either I don't care or I enjoy doing it.
Yeah, I think it was what you're describing. No, because I could tell like that's what she was.
Ladies, for any ladies listening, by the way, it sucks. Yeah. By the way, being programmed this way. it's kind of humiliating. We at least, I mean, a lot of guys, at least I, for sure, I don't like the fact that I can be affected in a way that I'm not entirely in control of. You know, like it's not, for instance, like I have to like the process begins and then I have to just start doing damage control just to kind of, you know, to not make it into a headache.
Yeah.
That's annoying.
Exactly.
I hate the fact that you have that power.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's not, you know, it's not really enjoyable. It's mostly a nuisance.
Yeah.
You know,
especially in public.
Yeah, I mean, just whenever it doesn't suit my purpose.
Yeah.
You know, like, so.
So I mean,
that sucks.
yeah, and but I left you a message kind of like having to do with that, in the sense of, I guess, I'm just gonna try to more or less remember what I said.
You're basically saying that before you became religious, let's say before you became aware of Torah and its place in the universe, you had certain ways of dealing with life's stressors. You know, you'd go to school.
Oh yeah.
You'd go to work, and then you'd go like any normal red-blooded human being.
Yeah.
You'd go and, you know, you'd go to the social scene. You'd go dancing. You'd want to meet up with girls. It's totally, completely
Wasn't
normal.
even meeting with girls. It was just literally dance it out. Me and my friends used to.
I know. I say I didn't say just girls. I said, but you can't tell me girls weren't a part of it. I mean,
it was a part, but what that wasn't. I'm telling you, that wasn't. It was like a peripheral.
Okay, fine. I'm
to
just
make
saying.
myself sound, you know.
Yeah, but think about it like this. You know, I've also had those kind of thoughts, like peripheral, right? And it's not the main thing. But what if they weren't there? Think about it. Not too much motivation to go.
No, I actually wouldn't give, because some of these DJs, I want.
I know, but like you end up in a sausage. Nobody wants to be in a sausage
Yeah,
fest.
that's true. Nobody was doing sausage fest. That's
Okay.
true. That's true.
So it's just you just don't want that.
Yeah.
Okay. So
That's true.
yeah, my son definitely doesn't want that.
Yeah.
You know. So anyway, you know, that's how you dealt with. It's not just you, it's like literally everybody.
Yeah.
I did the same thing. It's not, there's nothing, you know, nobody should be surprised by this. This is, you know, you're a human being. Okay. The thing is, so when you become, I don't want to say religious, but when you become aware, your consciousness becomes heightened and you become aware of Torah, God, all that kind of stuff. You know, you learn that you're not supposed to go do any of that stuff.
Yeah.
Right. But the Torah provides absolutely no replacement for it whatsoever.
Zero. It has nothing to say to people who are 30 years old and who are dropping their life. It has absolutely nothing to say to anybody. The rabbis have nothing to say to you. I don't know, nothing. No, there's no hashkafa book. There's nothing. There's zero. You're in the dark. You're grasping in the dark.
You know, in some ways, it's funny, but like God, he's kind of like that girl in the gym.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Where he's like,
yes.
we're like, God, hold on. I mean, you gave me all this stuff to deal with, and there's no outlet for it whatsoever.
He doesn't seem to care.
And, you know, like, you know, is there anything that can be done? He goes, no, it's not my problem.
No, there's nothing.
He doesn't say it's not my problem, but he's like, yeah, I don't know, just you know,
just drag yourself into the base midrash and become a monk. That's his solution. That's actually his solution.
That is actually his solution. Yeah. He's creating a situation where you got to get out of the rain, to use a metaphor.
Yeah.
Like you have to.
Yeah.
There's like no way to not, like, you have to go seek shelter.
Yeah.
And because God is constantly just sending hurricanes one after the other.
Yeah. Like move to Har Nof and stay there.
Yeah.
Just
you know, it's
stay
like,
there. Go, I don't know. Self-imposed prison or something. I don't know.
Right.
So
he's like, he turns up the heat and you're going to go automatically looking for the one, if it's available, for the one little place that, that has the temperature down a little bit. Right, Rafi? So basically, yeah, I mean, it is what it is, and most people can't go live in Harnof.
That's true. Yeah, most people don't have that option. What are you supposed to do?
I can hear someone saying, I could just hear someone out there saying, you probably had your opportunity and you didn't do it. Like,
what opportunity? Oh, like I had an opportunity to.
No, I'm talking about both of us, anybody. Like you went to yeshiva, you could have, done something. You could have stayed there. You could have gone to Kollel. You could have,
I went to yeshiva when I was 31 years old. And I mean, the only thing I could say for myself is that Hashem did me kind of a solid at one point where I met somebody, about a year or two after, let's say a year after I went to yeshiva. I moved back to America, but then that all kind of fell apart. And so after that, what am I supposed to do? It's already been 8 years since that happened. So what, and I've just been toiling and, trying to find somebody, trying to meet somebody. And it's not like I'm trying. So,
what you just said? You said that Hashem did you a solid, but I mean, I guess that's just a figure of speech.
Yeah.
But you can't, you can only know if it was really a solid in hindsight, if it actually worked out.
I mean, and I'm saying like he tried to do me a solid, I guess. I don't know. I don't know what in the end, I don't know what he did for me because it ended in horrible heartache.
It's not a solid.
Well, yeah, it's not a solid. It ended up horrible heartache. It ended up, it took me like a while to get over it. I can't even count how many. It was definitely like more than 2 years, maybe even more than 3. It led me into a place of like, just being very, very, I would say even overly cautious of, it sounds cliche and corny, of like overly cautious of my heart, of my just overly protective to the point of just being shut out, shutting love out at times, not at times, most of the time. It achieved the opposite result of what Hashem wants.
Well, how do you know what he wants? I mean,
I don't know. He wants me to get married and have pruvu. It achieved the opposite result. It not only achieved the opposite result at the time, it made it very difficult going forward. It like fortified, like it's almost like
I'm trying to say that we don't know, like God, he issued a directive publicly.
Yeah.
You have to procreate, right?
Yeah.
Hang on. You gotta procreate, right? So but with so basically with individuals who want to, and you can only know this in hindsight, meaning like when you're in the next world, right? Because while you're alive, it could always happen, but you never know if he actually wanted the individual to do Peru or Vu.
Okay. So who do you want to do Peru?
I don't know. He has, obviously he didn't let some people who tried really hard. He didn't let them have kids.
I hear that, man. But why dangle? You were talking about dangling something in front of somebody before. Then why dangle something in front of me?
So what you're saying is that this directive that he issued, you see that as him dangling?
No, not the directive, but even so much as the opportunity to, not act on it, but the opportunity to fulfill what he wants. He showed me an opportunity, and then,
I mean, you did it. You did your part.
I did. What did I do?
So you're supposed to try.
I tried, yeah.
Right. And you've been trying.
Yeah, but I can't continue to live in hell, man.
Yeah, I know. I understand.
You know what I mean?
I'm just saying, like from the the viewpoint of doing God's will,
Okay.
right? If that's the only concern, which ideally is supposed to be the only concern, then it doesn't matter what the result is.
It's obviously not the only concern, man, because there's physiological things that are happening, and I'm suffering. No, I'm not the only one, by the way.
No, but that's not no, but that has nothing to do with actually producing a child. Meaning that's just the that's part of the act. It's like the urge. I understand that. Okay. So, yeah, man.
Listen, man, we live in a physical world. There's no way. There's no two ways about it. You can make any hashkafic,
No, I'm not even trying to fight you hashkafically.
I know you're not. I'm just saying, like,
it's a heavy burden.
Yeah.
It's very heavy.
Listen,
and there's no place to put it down.
Yeah. I have a friend. Listen, I have a friend who has it even worse than me. I told you about the guy. He grew up, being in schools with guys and girls separate. He never had a girlfriend until he was like early 30s. And even then, it's like
early 30s.
Yeah, or late 20s, or yeah, man. Yeah. He didn't know what to do with women until, a certain point in his life.
Wait. What did you? I couldn't hear the last thing you said.
I said he didn't know what to do with women until a certain point in his life in terms of.
Well, I mean,
socially speaking.
Okay, so the people who raised him up criminally abused him by not preparing him.
In that way, yeah. His mother passed away when he was little. His father was secular, but sent him to a Torah school in Israel. And then at age 15, asked him, "Are you gay? How come you don't have a girlfriend?" "Well, you put me in a school with guys and girls separate." "Are you freaking kidding me?" And then the guy basically grew up kind of like, just inept with women.
The 40-year-old virgin.
He's not 40. He's not. I don't think he's a virgin no more. But he's whatever he is, early 30s. Let's put it that way. And it's way worse than anything I ever experienced. I mean anything I had. Yeah, my experience is something else. Doing whatever I wanted in my 20s. And that's not to say that I didn't do anything even now in the past 8 years, which I did, because I'm human and I'm dealing with other people who even though they probably believe the same things that I believe, but they're also human. The women involved. Everybody's human, Hashem, it doesn't seem like, honestly, I can't even blame Hashem on this one. I feel like the Kiruv system doesn't understand that people are human.
Okay, so what would the Kiruv? I disagree. I mean, I'm usually, writing on Kiruv system, but what's their alternative? Like, what
can I play you a clip from this David Klimnik guy? Remember the clip that I showed you?
Yeah.
Let me just find it. I don't remember which part it is. Okay.
So you really think that what
you can hear it, right?
Living is sort of like a stigma for you?
Yeah.
It's totally a stigma because people don't understand. People don't understand what comedy is. People even think like I should just tell them a joke when I'm not that great at telling jokes. I mean, I'm opening up my heart. To me, stand-up comedy, the kind that I like, the kind of that I connect to, is somebody who's like opening up their heart. Somebody who just spills and sweats and it's just like open, like just like total raw emotion. That's what I like seeing.
I don't know if this is the clip. The Kitzer, the guy basically says.
That's the one you sent me.
No, but is this the one where he says that certain halachas should be removed for people who are like in their late 30s or even early 40s?
No, I never heard him say that.
Okay, so there's another clip of him. I'm not going to go looking for it now. It's from the actual documentary because this is a bonus clip where he literally says, he's like, "Listen, man, this guy grew up from." He's like, "Listen, man, at some point we got to just let people." I mean, he's like, "I'm not talking about orgies here, Has v'shalom, but we just got to let people." You're talking about singles events and all these kind of things, and certain halachas have to be augmented.
I want to tell you something. I always suspected this, but no one is ever going to have the balls to say it. Okay. But I think that when it comes to like Kiruv rabbis, I'm talking about like the wiser ones, right?
Yeah.
like, they'll tell you what the halacha is and they'll promote it. But I pretty much think that I pretty much assume that they assume
Mhm.
that it's clearly impossible to follow and that we're not following it.
Well, they're saying, well, by them, it's more like if the only way to follow it is to just get married as fast as humanly possible. Like you're basically you're in yeshiva, no matter what age you are, you're studying.
No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that before that marriage occurs, right? Whatever process that, however long that takes, but until that happens, I think they're pretty much assuming that the halacha is not being kept.
No, they're assuming that we're only going to stay single for a short period of time, and that in that short period of time, we can try to, or we can keep that halacha. That's what they're assuming. They're literally assuming that.
No, I'm talking about people that the rabbis know are having a difficult time.
Oh, they don't give a crap about those people.
What do you mean they don't?
They don't give a crap.
Are you saying something different than what I'm saying? I'm just saying that, like, imagine you have a rabbi, okay? And, and he's going to advise you to keep the halachas, right? He's never going to say, he's always going to say, you got to keep the halachas, right? But I'm just assuming that he must assume that they're not being kept.
You're talking about there's like a shul in Manhattan where the rabbi, for example, I'm not going to name the shul, but he knows that people there are, singles who meet each other probably ain't keeping the halacha, that particular halacha, right? And I don't even think he cares. Ultimately, I mean, he cares, but I don't think there's nothing he can do. He knows there's nothing he can do. And as long as people are like, I guess, getting married through him, he's cool with that. You know what I mean? Like, however it happened, there's more, what is it? He's probably thinking there's more than one ways to skin a cat. So
that saying is banned from our conversations.
All right. Well, there's more than one ways to defer a mongoose.
What do you have against mongooses? I don't understand why this needs.
You know what I mean? There's more than one ways to cook.
There's more than one way to peel an apple. How about that?
To cook a chicken.
What?
Whatever. You don't like this whole animal thing, don't?
Why you want to hurt an animal? You always want to hurt an animal.
I don't want to hurt an animal, but I'm just saying there's certain animals I eat and I cook them, and there's more than one ways to cook it. I like chicken. Winner, chicken dinner. That's right. But anyway.
I can assume that chicken doesn't like you, man.
It's more of a parrot, really.
Going around here that chickens and you quite fond of one another.
Yeah. Where's that from?
Dave Chappelle.
Oh yeah.
He's like, come on, buddy. He walks into a chicken joint in the South.
Yeah.
And he does an impression of the guy. He's like, come on, buddy. Come on, buddy. It ain't no secret around here. Chickens and black folks is very fond of one another.
I can tell you this. What was I gonna say? I don't know. Whatever.
Come on, buddy. The way he says that.
Oh yeah, the chickens I don't like are the ones that are on the show The View. Those are the only chickens I don't like. Those are annoying chickens. They annoy me.
The chickens listening to this are like, what does this guy have against us? Not only does he want to kill us and eat us, he wants to insult us by comparing us
to
those creatures.
Yeah, those demon beasts.
Okay, I was trying to tone it down, but you're right. They are demon beasts.
Yeah,
they are.
What else can you say? So anyway, man.
No, so okay.
Don't seem to be any solutions here.
Right. So I think that what we're talking about, right? Like the halacha that you mentioned that should be removed, or that what that comic said. I don't know if he actually said that, but let's just hypothetically say
removed, but like whatever. Yeah.
So I think that halacha, like, I think the rabbis basically, they don't say anything. I mean, they know it's not being kept, but they're not removing it because they don't want to show approval, right? Because they want the guilt to hang there.
Yeah.
Because the guilt might eventually get you to do, the right thing, which is strange.
Sounds like Catholicism to me, man.
It seems to be, that's kind of how it like works itself out. Like that's, you know what I mean? Like they don't want to take the burden off, the guilt, because there's so much misery involved in the situation, right? You have a person who wants to do the right thing. This is like a Baal Tshuva guy, he gave up a lot in his life. But this one aspect of life is just insane. It's really insane. Yeah. It's not just insane for single guys. You'll discover that when you get married, it'll be insane when you're married as well. Like it's so
marriage does not solve the problem.
No, it does not. It's so unreasonable.
Yeah.
This, like, we were not brought here to be comfortable, obviously.
Yeah.
Okay. We were brought here to experience misery. I don't care what anybody says. There's always going to be some guy like, oh, no, it's only because you say that. That's why you're miserable, because that's the way you decide to look at it. Yeah, really? No. Okay, I did not decide any of this at all. Okay, dude, I was thinking about my brother. I was thinking about, like, people call nice people all the time and they want to wish their condolences, and they want to talk to me and then say, oh, your brother was so amazing, he did this, he's this kind of guy, that kind of guy. I don't give a damn about any of that.
Yeah.
I don't give a damn about anything that any of these people talk about my brother.
Yeah.
None of it matters to me. The only thing that matters to me is the time when I got him kicked out of the casino when he was 15. When we went to Curacao.
What the hell?
Family vacation. We went to Curacao. It's an island.
I know Curacao.
Curacao, okay?
It's like cool. Dutch, right? It's a Dutch.
Yeah, it was a Dutch island. Yeah, they actually had, I think, one of the oldest shuls, whatever. They produce this
I heard about
orange liqueur. They're famous for this orange liqueur.
Yes. I heard about that. Yeah, it's literally called Curacao.
Yeah, it's a beautiful place. Right. And so, I was 8, he was 15, or I was 7, he was 15, I think. So, they wouldn't let me into the casino, so I was just wandering around. So I made friends with the bouncer. I just go over and start talking to him, right? And that's how I spent like a few hours each day of my vacation just talking to this bouncer.
Yeah.
And then I can't remember what it was. My brother, he pissed me off. He did something. He shoved me or something like that. So I was like, hey, you see that guy right there? He's 15. I don't think he should be in there. Got him thrown out. I remember his stupid, tropical shirt that he was wearing. Actually, I shouldn't say it's stupid. It was a cool shirt.
To pretend that he was like older or what?
I don't know. No, it was just kind of like, it was just I don't know about that. It just, he had a tropical, like, 80s shirt. He looked like a.
Wait, so if he was 15,
he looked like a narco, from the 80s.
Yeah. He looked like Pablo Escobar.
Yeah, so it's funny.
Wait, so if he was 15, you were like what, like 8 or something?
Yeah, I was 7.5, something like that. Okay, so got him thrown. That was funny. Or I remember in that same vacation, could have been a different one, where he introduced me to pina coladas.
Uh-huh.
Right? He was like all excited about pina coladas, and I was like, I got excited too, because I didn't know any better. I'm like, yeah, pina colada, that sounds great, And then it was kind of weird when they brought it, and then I found out that it's supposed to have like liquor in it, and mine didn't, and I got really upset, and then he made fun of me. Yeah. That's the kind of stuff that I care about. I don't care about anything. I don't care about what he did. I don't care that he saved the world. Couldn't care less. That's not. You sound like, like if you're talking about my brother, you got to talk about our toys. You got to talk about the fact that this guy couldn't make his bed in the morning.
Yeah.
Because we grew up in one room, in the same bedroom.
Yeah.
This is the kind of stuff I remember. I remember his haircut in college. I remember what he looked like. He was like a fashionable. He was a good-looking, fashionable guy. He was thin. He was in shape. Wore jeans. He worked at a store when he was 16, which was like the highest fashion available in our neighborhood. It was like only the richest Syrians would go shop there. You know what I mean? Like he worked he was like a clothes horse. He was like, people, I want to, when I think about my brother, that's what I think about. Like even he doesn't like to think about that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's the only thing that matters to me. Like the stuff, look, if the good that he did, I'm glad that he did it.
Yeah.
The people he saved, I'm glad that he saved. Okay. I understand it's important. I'm not trying to diminish anything, but that's not the brother part.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So I only care about the brother part. That other stuff, that's God's business. You know what I mean? That's not, and this goes back. Why am I bringing this up? Because this goes back to, being just like a regular happy-go-lucky kind of, American kid enjoying McDonald's, messing with girls, in the, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
All right. Just going to the movie, just being happy. I remember being happy.
Yeah.
Not when you become religious.
No.
Bye-bye to all that. You know what I mean? Like you're introduced to reality, but reality isn't happy.
Reality. What's that movie? Reality Bites.
Reality seems to bite a little bit, but not like that movie. That movie is just like a bunch of whiny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was directed by Ben Stiller.
Yeah, I remember. I think it might have been that very movie where Winona Ryder.
Yeah.
I think she was like trying to get a job, in showbiz, but like, to be one of the like casting directors or something like that, right? And then she overheard somebody talking about her, somebody that didn't like her, some guy, and she's like, "No, I can't stand it. She got this like pointy face," and then you see her horrified look.
Yeah.
That was the one scene I remember from that movie.
Dude, they're trying to make a television series based on this for Peacock. It's like one of the NBC.
I just saw
Whatever.
that commercial like on YouTube.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Series?
Yeah, there's like where you have these pretty people, right? They put them. I mean, haven't they done this idea before? Like,
yeah.
Like, what are they called? Like Survivor.
Yeah.
Not Survivor. Some kind of
Big Brother. You're talking about?
Yeah, where they put like or they when they did it the first time with Real World.
Yeah.
MTV.
Yeah, that was the only real world. The first one.
The first one, right? That seemed almost real.
Yeah. Where the guy had like AIDS and he passed away from AIDS.
No, that was the second. That was the second one.
I was like, oh, really?
Yeah, I think that guy's name was Pedro. That was
Yeah.
That might have been
Pedro Zamora.
Second.
That was San Fran. Yeah, because the first one was New York, I think.
Yeah, the first one was New York. The one in New York, there's nothing. I don't think anything that like dramatic happened, and it was the best one. It was like it was fun to watch.
Yeah, it was. I just remember Eric Nies, and Eric Nies, the guys like the kind of jacked up.
Yeah. No, I remember. I never understood exactly what his place was in entertainment, but he was a host.
He hosted thing. He was He was a host of The Grind. Yeah,
he kind of looked a little bit like a Jewish kid. I don't know. I mean,
yeah, a little bit.
But I mean, everybody expected him and that pretty girl, that Southern girl, who came to be a dancer.
Yeah.
Then you had Andre, the
oh god,
the gay fashion designer.
And you had the black guy, like supremacist guy.
The militant.
Kevin.
Everything was racial, literally everything.
Like
you had the cowboy. Remember the cowboy?
Yeah. What's it?
The cowboy was the first. That was the first season, right?
I think it would know. The cowboy was already the next Los Angeles.
No. The cow.
I'm looking. It was the second one.
Seriously?
Yeah, the second one, cowboy, and then they also had a black guy.
They didn't have the cowboy in the first.
No, second season LA was the cowboy, but they also had a black guy. Forget his name. Whatever. I'm looking at the photos right now.
And then there was another girl there. She's like blonde, like, and she was also a fashion designer or an artist. No, she was a fashion designer, and Andre was a painter.
Yeah, something like that. He was trying to be the next like Busquet, whatever. Yeah, and the San Francisco one was the gay guy.
Does San Francisco have Puck? Like that guy who.
Yeah, the guy who ate put his snot everywhere and like ate things from the. That was him. Yeah.
He's like the bike messenger dude, right?
Yeah,
Puck.
yeah. Puck something.
He's like a Portlandia cast member.
Yeah.
That's where he belongs.
His name was David Rainey. David Puck Rainey. Nasty guy, like nasty. He would eat like. He would have like
He's like the kid who ate glue.
Yeah, he just like put his finger in like the peanut butter and all that kind of stuff. Disgusting, you know.
He definitely double dips.
Yeah, Puck is a bicycle messenger who frequently gets into vehicular accidents on his bike. His hobby is racing soapboxes. He's perceived as a rebellious bad boy in the cast. He has a sister and close to his mother and grandparents. Because of a contentious relationship with the rest of the cast, he is evicted from the house in episode 11, though he briefly reappears in subsequent episodes.
Dude, I saw one of those guys get run over.
It's so cathartic when you see that, right? It's amazing. I love it.
I'm shocked by my reaction to it. I was standing out. It was Arson and Greg.
Yes, that whole crew.
Arson is a DJ. He was DJing some lounge.
Yeah, I used to DJ in the same places as him, by the way.
Yeah. Somewhere in Midtown, and I just went outside.
Oh, okay. I DJ with him downtown in Leopard Lounge.
Yeah, I've been there, but in this case, I don't remember the name of the place. But anyway, I went to step outside, smoke or something like that, right? I can't remember why.
Yeah.
And then I saw this bike messenger dude, and he got mowed down by a cab. I just saw him disappear under the car.
Oh my God.
And that was it. Like I didn't, it wasn't like,
well,
it wasn't like blood everywhere. It just like vanished.
Oh my God. Did he live?
No, because I was just standing out there, kind of like I was shocked for a moment. I was like, did I actually see that? Because I don't see the guy anymore. He seems like he disappeared into an alternate dimension.
Yeah.
And then I saw the cops show up and all that. I did not see anybody emerge from under the car.
Yeah. That's crazy.
Yeah.
New York, 2005. That's what it is. That's how they roll.
Yeah, it was something. It was around that time. Yeah, maybe even like a year earlier. Something like that.
Crazy time.
I remember one time he was DJing at this one lounge, and this kind of like this older. There's another DJ there. This lady.
Yeah.
She's like a little bit older, and she was attractive.
I think I know who you're talking about.
He had like kind of like short hair and everything like that.
Oh, sure. Okay.
And like, so I don't know. She's like, hey, you guys like want to hang out like after? And then she was like winking her eyebrows, right? And then it didn't like hit us what she meant.
Yeah.
Like until after we said okay. And then like when she went to get ready, we ran away. Because whatever.
That's hilarious.
I was like, dude, I don't want to see your donk.
That's hilarious.
This ain't happening.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah, man. So there doesn't really seem to be any recourse. There doesn't seem to be any advice. There doesn't seem to be. There never was. The only advice that was given was just lock yourself in this particular room. Environment, and until
you know what our problem is?
Yeah.
As you're saying that, what I'm saying is in response to that. Here's what our problem is. We have a problem with, we're not okay with being that distant from God.
Yeah.
Like it bothers us.
Yeah.
The rabbis are like, yeah, listen, I've noticed that like when I talk to certain rabbis, to me, they're like, just put on tefillin every day.
Yeah.
Like the standards aren't very high when it comes to you. Just kind of don't,
yeah.
It's like, what am I, spiritual special ed?
Yeah.
Like you see no potential in me to grow spirit, right?
That's a good title for this episode. That's funny.
You know what I mean? It's sort of like they don't
spiritually challenged.
Sometimes they don't look at you.
Yeah.
Like you're up to it, and like it's not even for you.
Yeah.
In some cases, I wonder, like, do they really believe that it's not for a person, right? That like they can see it's not lost on them that God puts people in certain situations.
Yeah.
And they know that in those situations, it's not likely to succeed in doing this thing that God, prescribed for people to do.
Yeah.
Okay. So basically their thought is, well, they're not zocher.
Zoche, yeah. We don't have the merit to do any of this.
You know what I mean? So, see, I always have to wonder if that's what they're thinking. I really feel that a lot of times that's what they're thinking. They would never admit to it. Never.
Of course they wouldn't. There's a couple of them that would, but most would not. I think my rabbi would, maybe. I don't know.
He's like, you're not even giving the opportunity to be in a situation where you can become holy.
Yeah.
God threw you to the klippa, essentially. I'm not talking about you. I'm speaking about a hypothetical rabbi speaking to a hypothetical person.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's weird, man. I don't know. Like there's. I don't know. We know what the answer is. No, the answer is go to Harnof and hide. No, that's the answer. I'm serious. I'm not trying to be. I'm not trying to make a joke. Yeah, actually, yes. Actually, become a monk. Yes.
I'll be that weird 41-year-old guy in Harnof, single, hiding.
That is an issue because if you're hiding, then there's zero chance, essentially, of me. You know what I was thinking earlier? I can't believe that I just remember this. I think it's the people that you hang out with.
Yeah.
Right? Like the crowd.
Yeah.
I just think are kind of like, I don't know if this is true, but they seem stiff.
You're talking about me specifically, or?
Yeah, you. The people like, that is, the crew in Israel, like that whole like demographic.
Oh yeah, they are. No, that's stiff. No, the people.
So what you
pretty chilled out actually.
Not so yeah, but that's kind of what I'm talking about.
Okay.
So I think that you should hang out with high energy people, and the highest energy people that I can think of are Chabad.
Okay.
Mishachists.
Oh my God! But that's also in Israel.
Yeah. No, I'm just saying, like, no, but even here, you know what I mean?
Sure.
If you hang out with high energy like Chabadniks, you're gonna get in trouble.
Brother man,
But you're gonna go on adventures.
Well, I lived in Crown Heights for 3 years, and I hung out. I was around them. I hung out with them. Some of the guys that I met, those types of guys, actually a lot of them are married.
You probably, had you stayed in Crown Heights, you probably would have ended up getting married.
No, I would not have, because they were a tribe, my friend. They were a tribe, and they ask you, where did you go to yeshiva? And if you didn't go to like,
dude, there's plenty of members of that tribe who are trying to get out.
Listen, man, I know, but they're a tribe.
Exhibit A.
I was
Exhibit A. I think you know what I'm talking about.
Yes, listen, I was asked if I went to yeshiva. I said yes. They're like, did you go to Morristown? No. Did you go to Kor Chabad? No. Did you go to such and such? No. Did you go Ocho what is it? No, Ochel Torah. Hadar HaTorah? No. So I'm not on their map. And so.
No, but what I'm saying is, you're talking about the kind of girls that I'm not talking about. I'm talking about the kind of girls that are like, did you go to Hadar Torah? No. Good. Did you go to Ole Torah? No.
Yeah.
Great.
And those girls,
having to do with Chabad,
dude, all those.
There's plenty of that too.
And yes, and plenty of that, and most of them are leftists.
Oh my God.
I'm serious. I'm not kidding.
Dude, listen to me.
Spent 3 years there.
Every woman is a leftist.
No.
Femininity itself is from the left.
Yes, but dude, you know what I'm talking. They are woke, rabid wokists. I'm not talking about somebody who's just like, I don't know, let me explore that idea.
By the way, that's a very specific thing to say. That, oh yeah, those are leftists. No, there's all different sorts of people.
Dude,
you know what I mean?
Dude, I lived in Crown Heights for 3 years.
Dude, you're not the only one that knows Lubavitchers, dude.
I know that.
Okay, so I've met girls who don't fit what you're describing from Crown Heights. Like, I know that they exist. You got to.
Where are they? Show me. I keep, dude, here's the thing. I keep hearing lore. I keep
Some
hearing
of my wife's friends
I
years
keep
ago.
hearing fables, but I don't see anything. I don't see.
No, dude. All I
anything
said
like
was
this.
I know. All I said was I know that they exist, and I don't think some of them would appreciate being named.
Dude, I know Hashem exists, but I never seen him. You know what I'm saying?
Well, how? That's an interesting question. How do you expect to see Hashem?
I don't expect to see Hashem, but just like in the same way I don't expect to see Hashem, it seems like I'm not going to see these girls who you're telling me exist, because clearly, where the hell are they? I would have met one already. I was in Karnas for 3 years, man. 3 years, not 3 months, not 3 days, 3
Dude,
years.
you sound like you're like I was in Sing Sing 3 years.
No, I'm saying
Good time.
statistics dictates that in a certain amount of time you would come across, the women that you're describing. I did not, and if I did, I was not attracted to whoever.
Okay, so that's what happened.
Okay. So next, we move on.
Damn it.
Move on to the next state, which could be Florida.
The question is, and we got to go here if we're truth fanatics.
Yeah.
I've noticed a difference years ago when I'd watch porn.
Oh my God. Years ago, right? Years ago.
Okay, what do you want me to say? You want me to say something not true? I'll say, okay,
go on.
3 hours ago.
Go on.
Okay, because it sounds more just.
Yes.
See, people, what I'm worried about, like people sometimes they want to be so truthful that they'll say something that sounds truthful.
Yeah.
When it's not actually
Yeah.
true. Okay. So, for me, it was a couple of years ago, not that long.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but that's not the only problem that people deal with. Okay.
Yeah.
So it's possible to overcome porn. I'm sorry. It is. Okay. So basically, there was a difference in the mind as to attraction before and after. Once you get rid of porn in your life, and I'm not speaking to you, I'm speaking to this proverbial human being. Okay.
Yeah.
It changes everything. It changes the whole brain chemistry.
Yeah.
And you start becoming attracted to like any basically healthy looking woman.
Yeah. But with functioning, as you said.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's just like you just have to like not be a swamp creature.
Yeah.
Okay. And that's the normal setup. Like that's the normal programming.
Yeah. Right.
So I don't know what your state of mind was. Okay. And I'm not asking for you to tell me. I'm just saying that if porn had anything to do with it, then that's like a warped
It did not
perspective.
It did not, sir. I can assure you it did not.
All right. So
because I was dating, obviously I was meeting women, I was dating certain women, and
hang on one second.
Yes.
There you go. Trying to get the kid to shut up. Shut up.
Just don't call him Baran. I don't like it when you do that.
Why? That's the part I wanted. That's the whole point of it.
Listen, I was in hockey camp, and when I was 17, and this guy he was our coach. He was in the Soviet team, and he called like half the guys Baran. Not me. Another guy. He called one guy. He called one guy. What?
I always thought it was hilarious when my father said that to me.
No, it is hilarious. It is hilarious, but it's one of those things I'm trying to like de-Sovietize parenting. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but Baran is like one of the nicer things of my dad.
Yes.
No, because it was funny, because it was associated.
It's funny now. It was funny to you.
No, it was funny to me then too.
Oh, I'm trying to think. Well, Baran would have been funny, but there were other things.
Usually my father said that with a smirk on his face, like like a laugh. Like I knew he wasn't really.
No, I was called Kazol, but it was like
Kazol is something else.
Yeah.
Kazol is more malicious.
Like a goat, yeah.
Yeah, Kazol is like.
Kazol.
It's a very negative thing, right? Especially, I've never heard the word kazol say with any kind of shtick. It was always meant to hurt.
Yeah. Oh my God. I don't know, man. In general, like I'm trying to like de-Soviet. I was listening to this clip by Rabbi Yom Tov Glazer. He was talking
Basically,
about.
it means he's an asshole. That's what it means.
Oh yeah. Who's an asshole? The baby?
Because no, man, I'm saying
Oh.
anybody that's called the kazol,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Is an ass.
No, it's like he was talking. This Yom Tov Glazer, Rabbi Yom Tov Glazer, was talking about approval and acceptance. And he's talking about how parents blur the lines where he's basically saying what parents should do is say, well, I don't approve. I don't approve of what you're doing right now, the action, the behavior, but I accept you as my kid and I love you unconditionally, And what a lot of parents do is that they turn the action into that's who the kid is, a troublemaker, of this, of that, whatever it is, whatever that action is. There's an action and there's the person, two different things. And so with Russian parents, it was on overdrive. Like if you get a bad grade or something like that, or you do something, or you don't do something, then you are whatever you are based on that action. You're lazy.
Well, yeah, I mean, these are people who title you by who like define you by your job.
By your job, by your behavior.
Yeah.
Ты кто? Я доктор.
On
No, you're not a doctor.
Bugalter.
Yeah. No, it's like I don't give a damn what this person does for a freaking living. Like whenever they tell me about some girl, even my mom recently, she mentioned some girl that like the daughter of her, their friends who went to high school with my sister, but she was like 2 years younger, and now they're both like they're in their 20s, and she's like, one is works in the bio something, and the other one he's like studying to be like a lawyer or something like that, And I'm like, I don't give a damn. Can you tell me about these people's personality? Are they pardon my language, are they an asshole? Are they funny? Do they have a sense of humor?
Those are your eye roll moments. Meaning
no, my mother actually doesn't roll her eyes. It's just not the first thing she thinks of. But then it's funny when it's like comes to dating, right? And it's a girl, let's say somebody she knows that set me up with some girl, and then my mom's kind of privy to the whole situation, so she asked me like, no, cock, I went on a date or something, or I meet the girl, I talk to the girl, and I say, she wasn't picking up when I was putting down, and then she goes to me, ну да, ты знаешь, Гриша, девочки никогда нету чувства юмора, это плохо. Что-то с интеллектом, when there's no sense of humor, there's something wrong with the intellect, and I'm like, no shiznit. So don't tell me about what she does for a living. Tell me about this. That's the first thing you should tell me. Does she have a sense of humor or not? That's it. That's all I care about. I don't care about anything else. I don't care if she lives in a box on the street. I don't care.
No, but that's
we're both gonna live in a box on the street.
Okay, but that's not the normal thing. It's not. But the normal thing is this: when somebody wants to hear
that's what keeps them married.
That she's a lawyer or she's an accountant. You know what that means? Like they try to tell you that as fast as possible.
Why?
So most people are like, "Whew, that means that we might have some kind of economic comfortable life."
What?
That's what people are like immediately worried about.
I don't. But that's not going to make a marriage, man. People get married because of it, and they get divorced because of it, because they're lacking the things that matter. And we've seen this. We've seen this in the Russian community over and over and over. Like it's just like a broken freaking record, man.
Yeah, but people assume.
How many girls I see miserable? They look miserable. Married women.
People assume. Well, first of all, misery is a difficult thing to assess because
you can see it on their face.
Everybody's miserable, literally. Like this is not a place where a person can be non-miserable.
Dude, you know what I mean?
There's different levels.
Yeah.
Okay, so you never know what is actually the cause. But I think that most people, when they hear like two people like divorcing, breaking up, everybody, whether it's true or not, everybody assumes money had a big role to play in it. Oh. And then everybody's like, of course, even in the frum community, and it's like, of course, when money.
Something, man, I would say most of the divorces that I've been privy to, this is the last 5 years, is a few that I've heard or have friends or people that I know or acquaintances that are divorced. I would say money is probably 5% of them. Usually it's People got married young, and it's just like it's usually incompatibility, or one of the people, more often than not, it's the woman who has some kind of clinical problem. It's like Baal Tshuva guy who got set up with some clinically not all there girl who nobody in her community would marry. Or just again Baalei Tshuva who were kind of like coaxed into marrying very quickly. Yeah, man, it's a lot of just irreconcilable differences, people got married for the wrong reasons, a lot of that kind of stuff. And it makes you wonder, like, dude, even in the studies, you could read studies on divorce. Money is down there, man. It's down there on the list. It's down there.
Can I just make a public service announcement? And I don't know if this is, I'm scared. I'm a little scared to say this, but like Baal Tshuvas, if any of Baal Tshuvas listening, don't trust your rabbis.
Yeah.
When it comes to setting you up.
They have no idea where you come from. They come from the world.
Unless you know for a fact, you're one of the rare people that actually has a rabbi that gives a damn what happens to you when you're not around. Yeah. Like he's actually thinking about what your day-to-day experience is.
Yeah, exactly.
Then maybe you could trust a guy like that.
Yeah.
But guys, this is just not nice.
Yeah. There should be there are people who are responsible for shidduchim and marriages who should be sued. They should literally be sued for punitive damages by the Baalei Tshuva or the people in question for not telling one of the people about the psychological state of the person they married.
I'm starting to think that they work for the ministering angels.
I don't know. Yeah, maybe.
You know why? Because obviously we've heard about this idea of tikkunim, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Like maybe these shatchanim, right, they're like ministering angels in disguise. They're not interested in giving you a happy marriage. No, they're working for God, trying to get a tikkun occurring.
No, listen, I sent you the video. No, there's a girl I know. She gets
right now, but we talked about that many times before.
Yeah, she said she's like, the closer we get to Mashiach, the more fixings we're doing. And she goes, if you're wondering why you're seeing all of these like just insane amount of divorces in the religious world, and if you're wondering why you're seeing not only divorces, but like people have relationship problems, they can't, it's hard for them to get married. People who ostensibly, you look at them, they're like, why is this person single? What's wrong with them? Nothing's wrong with them. It's just, this is the Tikkun generation. This is what it is. You
know what's worse? I've noticed that even in religious communities, right, even ones that practice like kiruv, there are certain people that if they become like religious, even the religious community themselves are suspicious of them.
Yeah, of course.
They're like, what's wrong with this person?
Yeah, of course.
And that's very telling about what the community itself feels about Torah and Yiddishkeit.
Yeah, they're like, why did this person drop their life? Are they insane to join us? It's like they made a choice. They did this because they wanted to. What's wrong with these people?
Right.
They
must be a nebuch.
Yeah.
Anybody of a certain age who wants to get involved with the Jewish community or do Torah, there must be a nebuch. That's basically.
My mother says sometimes about the girls who end up going to like seminary. She's like, ты знаешь, Гриша, я заметил, что-то с ними не то. She's like, I noticed something. I noticed with these girls, something's off with them.
It's almost like it's one like a Baal Tshuva, right, of a certain age who wants to get involved. They look at him almost like maybe one level past like a schnorrer.
Yes.
A schnorrer, for the folks at home. Person, this is a I think it's a derogatory word.
Yeah.
For a person who
it's that guy that walks around the weddings asking for
the beggar, the guy who walks around collecting money, asking for tzedakah, right? So you got these kind of characters circulating around the Jewish community. And if you're a Baal Tshuva of a certain age, if you're 30, right, if you're a high-powered executive, you're 35 and all of a sudden you realize Torah is real and you know, you want to do the right thing. Everybody looks at you like you're crazy.
Yeah.
Even the religious people that are
Yeah.
supposedly supposed to be your support.
Yeah. Dude, it's like the Israelis when you make Aliyah, they're like, you made that, you came from America? What's wrong with you? Why do you leave New York? I want to go to New York. You made Aliyah? What's wrong with you? Dude, you know how many people said that to me when I made Aliyah? Israelis? I thought I was insane. One person, this Yemenite guy, he actually did not say that. He said the opposite. He said he had respect for me because he's like, yeah, I spent time in America. I was in Kansas in my uncle's house in Kansas. I'm like, yeah, you were in Kansas, bro. That's like Petah Tikva.
You know what?
Like, I don't see the appeal.
You know what Israelis don't understand? They don't know what it's like to kind of, you know, like whenever you come into a situation and the information, like the fact that you're Jewish, there's always like a calculation being made as to how much of that are you going to talk about. In America, anywhere outside of Israel, that's it. That's something that Jews have to think about.
Yeah.
And I'm not bitching and moaning. I'm not saying I'm a victim. I'm just saying it's a fact.
No, it's a fact. And they only realize that when they move to America and they realize that they're a Jew.
Right. So they don't know.
They remember that.
They don't understand the absolute, like, unique luxury, especially for a Jewish person, of what it's like to grow up in a Jewish country where you don't have to hide. It's never even a thought.
Yeah.
You have to, like, you know, worry about telling somebody that you're Jewish.
Yeah, or wear a kippah at work or an interview. Even in a place like Israel where like the media brainwashes people against religious people. Dude, if I show up to a Tel Aviv company with a kippah, there's not a problem to hire me.
Yeah.
And I can tell them that I have this Hag, I'm taking this Hag, I'm taking this Yontif. Okay. They know.
Secular guys know how to identify different types of religious dudes too.
Yeah.
Like they know which guys like keep us frugal. All right, this guy went to the army. He was a commando. He knows all about technology. Or let's say a Chabad guy shows up. Oh, these guys are Chabad. They're cool. They go to the army. You know, they're open-minded. They've worked with people. They know how to network.
It depends where. Some of them do, some of them don't. But
I'm just saying likely demographics. That's all.
Yeah.
You know, they do their cheshboinus.
Yeah.
Cheshboinois.
Yeah, in America, it's not like that. You're religious.
For the folks at home, cheshbon. There's a word cheshbon. There's this word cheshbon, which means a calculation.
Yeah.
So it actually also means the check.
Yeah.
You know,
or like an account. Yeah.
When you ask for the check at a restaurant.
Yes. Sure, cheshbon.
Yeah. Okay. So, yeah, man. So people are like that when I first moved to Miami, I was like, you know, people, they're like, you moved here from New York? I'm like, yes. Why the hell would you even consider, what's wrong with you?
You were ahead of the game, man.
I don't understand. You don't like beautiful weather, palm trees, sexy looking people, and blue water? Like, what don't you like?
And the ability to carry a gun at all times?
Yeah, like, what don't you like? What is it about New York? You know, and you know what it is? You know what it comes down to? And this is ridiculous. And I'm not even trying to, this is actually what it comes down to. And this is mostly girls.
Okay.
Clothing.
They wearing seasonal.
Yes, they want to wear like winter clothes. They like to see guys wearing sweaters that's what it comes down to.
Can I say one thing? American women, you know, I was in shul on Shabbos and Kiddush. And the rabbi caught me telling my sister or someone, I don't remember who I was telling this to, that I think we need a world war. Why do I think we need a world war? Not that I want a world war, but I think some kind of a military conflict will help people who are in the demographic called Gen Z to grow up very quickly.
How about something else?
They need to grow up.
Okay, how about something besides a war? How about something besides a war?
I don't know. What else could possibly make them do that?
Listen, we have an infinite God.
Okay.
Who with an infinite, apparently an infinite imagination.
Okay, so
can't he think of anything besides war?
So give me an example of what you
disease.
I'm saying, give me an example of what you would think of. Clearly, disease is not working because they're still the same way they were before. If anything, they're probably worse. Now they're just wearing masks and telling everybody else to wear masks and going insane and pumping themselves with 4 shots of this and monkeypox crap and this and that.
I can think of something.
Like what?
Okay, so there have been many cultural revolutions throughout history in many different societies. Okay, even we can go back to ancient Israel. There were kings. You know what's amazing? A lot of people like who never read Tanakh, they don't know that there were entire generations in ancient Israel that did not know what Torah was.
Mm-hmm.
That absorbed completely alien cultures, and they worshipped like pagan deities. Like if you were to go back in time to one of those like, one of those like stretches of time, you wouldn't know that you're around Jews in Israel. You would think you're around some Assyrians or some Canaanites or something like that.
It's like today, same thing.
Well, no, I mean you would find some Jews, like you'd still see some religious guys. You'd see tzitzis, you'd see the talit katan. You'd see that. You'd see beards and whatever. But you can go through periods of time in ancient Israel where you wouldn't even see that, where religious guys who actually kept the faith, they had to like live in secret, like Marranos, Ganuzim.
Yeah.
Okay, so and then you had somebody like Hezekiah.
Yeah.
Right.
Yahoo,
who reestablished the religion.
Yeah.
Okay, he had to find, like, am I thinking Hezekiah? Which king am I talking about? The one who actually found a copy of the Torah somewhere in a dusty, room in the temple, which had been abandoned, and there's freaking like vines growing everywhere.
I mean, there was.
Whatever. The point is, there's periods of time where there are people who were able to turn things around, and it wasn't because of a war.
Yeah.
Okay. So I think that remember we were talking about earlier with Pam Popper.
Yeah.
Right. She was like, we're trying to figure out like what could be, once they fix everything with the laws and the courts and however long that takes, how are we going to be sure this doesn't happen again?
Yeah.
So it's entertainment.
Yeah. The
reason why this all happened is because this became an entertainment culture, a culture where people become addicted to entertainment, and that's what they spend all their time doing. Yeah. And then whoever's involved in that is pumping their heads with all sorts of political messages, using that as an opportunity. Yeah. So if people were trained, if there were public service announcements, like for instance, let's say we became very aggressive, me and you, with putting up those stickers, right? We can affect more people. People will see that. It'll have an effect. You just have to have a couple of motivated, aggressive people pushing certain ideas. If we push the idea of don't ever trust anybody in entertainment, they're always lying to you about history, about politics, about information in general.
Unless it's like James Woods and like Rob Schneider and who's that other guy? Randy Quaid. Trust like 3 people.
Well, no, I'm just saying though. No, I'm just saying that like don't. No, I would actually tell them don't trust anybody.
Anybody, yeah. You never
literally know. Don't trust anybody. Find out for yourself. And here's the thing: they are always lying. Yeah. I promise you that if somebody says something, you check it out, it's a massive lie.
Yeah.
Okay. Every movie that you saw, every Malcolm X or Amistad,
or just the prime example is Kinsey, the movie Kinsey, where they venerated the guy for like writing books. You know Kinsey, right?
Sure, I saw the movie.
For writing books about children's sexuality and this. He's like the founder of all this stuff that we see today with the trans and all that stuff.
I remember in the movie, right, that he was trying to understand human sexuality, right, just from a scientific standpoint.
Yeah.
Okay. So to him, it's like in his mind, it was like studying a serial killer. Like if you're a psychiatrist, right? Now, I don't know if this is what he was really like. This is how they portrayed him in the movie, right? He's like a psychiatrist who wants to understand the behavioral patterns of abnormal people like serial killers. I remember this one movie that they produced on HBO. I wish I could remember what it was, but it was about the worst serial killer in recorded history. It was a Russian guy. It was in Russia. And the guy who played the detective, this is in the Soviet Union in the 80s, 70s and 80s. The guy who played the detective was this Irish actor who played in a bunch of movies. He was in The Crying Game.
Okay.
You know that actor? The guy, he's like the main guy in The Crying Game.
Yeah, but this is a Soviet movie then you're talking
No,
about?
no, it's not a Soviet movie. It's an HBO movie, but it's produced, but they're playing Soviet people.
Are you talking about here, this guy, Stephen Ray?
Yes.
Yeah, that's Northern Ireland guy.
Right. So he played the detective who was trying to track down the serial killer. And there's this has nothing to do with what we were talking about, but I just remember this one point in the movie where he was literally like looking for this guy.
When was this movie made?
This is like in the early 90s.
Not Crying Game, but a different movie you're talking about.
This is a different movie. This is an HBO produced movie about a Russian serial killer. He killed like 80 something people that they know of.
Interesting. And this guy and this этот как его зовут? Блин, I know what you're talking about. I know the guy.
The serial killer?
No, yeah, his name, it was a famous story. Here, famous. Его зовут, I'll tell you как его зовут. Chikatilo.
Andrei
Chikatilo, yeah.
The Rostov Ripper.
Definitely.
I heard Norm Macdonald talk about it.
Andrei Chikatilo, HBO documentary, The Red Ripper of Rostov. Yeah, pure evil.
No, this is not a documentary.
Citizen X, maybe?
It could be.
Citizen X, 1985 American television film, which covers detectives in the Soviet Union.
1985.
Yeah, Stephen Ray. Yeah, there you go.
That was 85?
No, 95.
95, right. Okay.
It stars Stephen Ray, Donald Sutherland, and Max.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah. No, so I remember. No, so let me just finish telling you.
Mm-hmm.
So there's this one moment in the movie where this guy, Stephen Ray, this detective who's looking for this guy, he looked for him every single day for 8 years with no breaks.
Wow.
And at some point he broke down mentally. Like he just started crying uncontrollably.
Yeah. Victor Burakov.
Yeah, in front of the his superiors that were like demanding results. He just started crying, and they had to like cart him away to an institution or something like that. And
they have a thing on they have all these things on YouTube. Murderous Minds, on Chikatilo, Rostov Ripper, and they actually have this Burakov guy.
Yeah. So basically,
funny. There's another thing. Why the USSR had no serial killers?
Yeah,
there's a reason for that, actually.
Yeah, because they just didn't admit. It's the same reason why Iran doesn't have homosexuals. So basically, listen. There was like, I think Max von Sydow also played in that movie, and he was right?
Dr. Alexander Bukhanovsky.
Yeah, he was a psychiatrist who was studying after they caught him, right? He was questioning this guy, serial killer, about why did you do this? Like, why did you, why did you like eat her earlobe? And then it was too horrible. You know what I mean? Like, but he got into the details. Like even in the movie, he's like, why did you do this and that? And then abuse her sexually after you killed her, after you ate her left pinky. And it's absolutely insane. So the way they so they portrayed him as a psychiatrist who's trying to understand the mind of a psychopath or a serial killer. Obviously, we're supposed to assume to use this information to prevent it in the future.
No.
So the way they portrayed Kinsey, which is Liam Neeson, he was Alfred Kinsey in the movie.
Yeah.
They portrayed him as that kind of guy who was, the most disturbing scene in that movie is when they approached this, I don't know how they found him, but they approached this high-powered executive at some company who was, I forgot what they called him, but he was like a hypersexual, like he was the most out of control type person. He was like the Hannibal Lecter of sexual deviance.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, like he would molest children. He slept with all of his family members somehow, or anybody. Like he would just do anything sexual anytime.
Yeah.
And then they were interviewing him and asking him all these questions. And then, one of the guys who was his assistant, who was Kinsey's assistant, influencing this guy, he got like outraged, and he couldn't complete the interview, and he walked out. So that's how they portrayed him.
Yeah.
But I don't think that's what he was like in real life. I think that Kinsey himself was also a weirdo.
Of course he was a weirdo. Of course he was a weirdo. If you watch the movie What Is a Woman, he talks about him.
I'm so glad you brought up What Is a Woman. I was just watching, it was a commercial on YouTube from Ben Shapiro. And he's like, you have to watch What Is a Woman. It is probably the most important documentary in the last 10 years. And, and no, it's not, by the way. If anything, then, the 2000 Donkeys? What was it? What was that documentary? The
Mules.
Yeah, 2000 Mules. That is by far the most important documentary.
Yeah.
That was released recently.
Yeah.
And of course, Shapiro isn't gonna say that because he totally dropped the ball on the election thing and on COVID, by the way. So he's useless. He's useless.
He is useless. Yeah. My family keeps saying, "Oh, why don't you go apply?" They had like jobs at Daily Wire. I'm like, I'm good, thank you. Thanks. Like writing jobs, I'm just like, spasibo.
Oh man, it's tough to not sell out. It's really tough. It's like it's almost as hard as like, staying pure, you try to become religious.
Yeah.
There's no place to go. There's no shelter.
Yeah, there's no place to work.
And literally everybody, even your rabbi and your parents, are telling you, just sell out. Just sell out.
On some level, yeah. Take this, go here, go with him, go with her, take that, go work there, accept this. Well, you have to do this. You gotta, my mother said, "Надо же как-то жить."
It's right, exactly. It's crazy, but like a person who doesn't sell out has no network.
Yeah.
They have no country.
Yeah. Yep.
There's no place to, it's crazy.
No country for old men, my friend.
There's no country for non-sellouts.
Yeah. By the way, that somebody posted the entire movie Citizen X on YouTube.
That's
in high definition.
I wouldn't recommend watching it.
I want to watch it. They filmed it in Hungary. It's pretty interesting. I think I've seen parts of it years ago. I remember Donald Sutherland wearing like a Soviet.
Donald Sutherland. He was he was an interesting character. Like that. He was kind of the friend of that detective. He was trying to help him or protect him from his other superiors, who all they did was put all the blame.
Put a wrench on his position.
On the detective who couldn't find this guy,
well,
right?
It's like the Soviet system. They prided themselves on having almost. It's true. They had almost no crime over there.
No, that's not true at all. They had
they had
horrible crime.
No, they had crime, but it was.
No, they didn't report it, dude.
No, they reported it, but it was.
No, they didn't.
The way they dealt with criminals was, there was no like, you're never going to have a George Floyd fiasco in Russia. If they stomp a guy out, they stomp the guy out.
No, dude, he's done. If some guy got his head cut off by a Chechen, or if some lady was gang raped, or if some child, they did not report that because that would look bad.
No, what I'm saying is if a cop did something to stop an assailant, good.
No, of course.
If they could shoot all of them, they would. You know what I mean?
Dude, what I'm trying to say is like this: that the tremendous amount of dirty crime that was committed in the Soviet Union was never reported.
Well, they had vory v zakonie,
they had crime families. They had a very, very, very extensive black market. Yeah. They had everything you can possibly imagine. It was just never reported because because the government wants to show that communism is the best system. Yeah. So they just lie about everything horrible.
Yeah. So in the case of this guy, he had to find him immediately because otherwise it would just look
right. and it took more than 8 years.
Yeah.
And Donald Sutherland, like the other actor who played the other superior was like merciless, in terms of like coming down harshly on the detective who had no resources. So it got to the point where in order to get this guy, this superior off the detective's back, Donald Sutherland's character had to blackmail him.
Yeah.
He showed him, he's like, I have photographs of you with that young boy in your vacation apartment, coming in and out. They literally had to threaten that guy to get him off his back.
Yeah. It's crazy.
It shows you how things operate.
Yeah. 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 This I remember the story of Chikatilo. It was in the
Dude, how did we get on Kinsey? I'm trying to remember.
How did we get on Kinsey? We got on Kinsey by talking about something.
Like,
about wow.
well, whatever. Let's move on then.
Yeah, Chikatilo, it was basically in the 80s, the guy that was doing stuff. Wow. He was operating in Ukraine. Wow. Yeah, it was a whole like national thing.
I think he killed mostly girls, mostly young people.
Yeah. He was executed by gunshot in February 1994. Yeah.
I think he asked to be executed in a different way so that his brain could be studied.
Something like that.
And they're like, nah, bullet to the head.
Yeah. Confessed that it says convicted and sentenced to death for 52 of the murders in October 1992. Although the Supreme Court of Russia ruled in 1993 that insufficient evidence existed to prove his guilt in 9 of those killings. Chikatilo was executed in prison. Let's see, childhood. Sumy Oblast of Ukrainian Republic. Yeah, Ukraine is in a grip of famine. Oh, he was born in 1936 by Joseph Stalin's collectivization of agriculture. His parents were both collective farm laborers. Yeah, seldom had sufficient food. Claimed to have not eaten bread until the age of 12, adding that he and his family had to eat grass and leaves in an effort to stave off hunger. Through his childhood, Chikatilo was repeatedly told by his mother Anna that prior to his birth, an older brother of his named Stepan had at the age of 4 been kidnapped and cannibalized by starving neighbors. It has never been established whether this incident actually occurred or if Stepan Chikatilo even existed. Nonetheless, Chikatilo recalled his childhood as being blighted by poverty, ridicule, hunger, and war. Yeah.
That sound, I heard somebody, like my friend was telling me that I think Hannibal Lecter, the character.
Yeah, it was based in Chikatilo.
I don't know if it was based on Chikatilo, but he also was from Ukraine, from Russia during the war, where his sister was abducted and cannibalized by neighbors or people, and then they, whatever. It's really, it's really.
Yeah.
So
I'm just trying to get to like why he was married in 1963. Chikatilo later claimed that his marital sex life was minimal and that after his wife understood he was unable to maintain perform, they agreed she would conceive by him ejaculating externally and pushing his semen inside her vagina. Oh my God.
Thanks, dude.
Yeah.
I don't know why we had to get that.
Yeah, I don't know. Okay.
In detail.
Grim.
Very grim.
He obtained his degree, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, he was a teacher. Yeah, he studied as a correspondence student in Rostov University, studying Russian literature and philology, and obtained his degree in these subjects in 1970. He obtained a job managing regional sports activities. He remained in the position for a year before beginning his career as a teacher of Russian language and literature at Novoshachtinsk. Oh my God. Largely ineffective as a teacher, although knowledgeable in the subjects he taught, he was seldom able to maintain discipline in classes, was regularly subjected to mockery by students who he claimed took advantage of his modest nature. Oh, so he was kind of like very committed his first known assault in 1973. Whatever, we won't get into the whole thing. But that was basically this guy. Craziness. And then he started like murdering. It's crazy.
How do we move on?
Anyway, moving right along.
Yeah.
Crazy stuff.
Let's see. Let's take a look at the headlines. Let's see what's going on. Maybe there's a miracle. Here we go again. More of the. Oh look, they cheated.
Who?
I'm looking at the Gateway Pundit. Maricopa County GOP refuses requests.
It's like alternative. It's almost like there's like alternative realities that are occurring.
No, it's not an alternative reality. It's just they're showing stuff.
It's reality, but people are not grasping that this is reality.
There's no law enforcement.
There's no law enforcement. There's no actual journalism. There's no MS. There's nothing. Things exist in some sort of black hole. Gosh. Yeah, the GOP chair refuses request to appoint signature challengers. Are you freaking kidding me? So basically, there's going to be fraud in the congression.
Maricopa County GOP chair refuses requests to appoint signature challengers on early ballots. Massive fraud expected. Yeah. Dude, GOP means nothing. It's worse than
grand old putzes.
No, I mean the real Republican Party, whenever it existed, but we don't have that. So, oh man.
Listen, again, like you said today, man, in the thing in the Zoom, there's just supernatural intervention. That's really all we have left. Nothing else.
Speaking of, there is a interesting kind of like development. I'm trying to confirm it.
Okay.
There's this like YouTube account. It's called Mauricio Ruiz, right? Okay. And he's like the Spanish dude who does not speak English very well. Like you could tell that English is his not first language.
Is it YouTube account?
Yeah.
Let's see.
But he does post like interesting, like, he's really into the UFO topic, and he posts like interesting like compilations. Like he's good at editing, and he puts it together. So the main person that he pays attention to and tries to essentially see their statements is that guy Luis Elizondo.
Yeah, I'm looking. Mauricio Ruiz, official UFO channel.
So before I continue this, I wanted to for the folks at home to hear who Luis Elizondo is. So I'm just going to read his Wikipedia, I guess. Okay, so basically so Luis Elizondo is a former U.S. Army counterintelligence special agent and former employee of the Office of the Undersecretary of Defense for Intelligence. Later, Elizondo was a director of global security and special programs for the To the Stars Academy, through which that was after he actually left the Pentagon. Okay, but Elizondo here's the important part. Elizondo is the former director of the now defunct Pentagon program, which is called the Advanced Aerospace Threat Identification Program. Okay, so Elizondo, he worked in the Pentagon. Elizondo has subsequently appeared in various media as a UFO expert, but critics question, obviously you're gonna have the debunkers, whatever. Okay, so that's who this guy is. So he career intelligence agent. He ran an office in the Pentagon, and which was specifically chartered. Is that the word? To study this topic. Okay, it was paid for by by the government, but it was like 3 senators that championed this. One of them was Harry Reid. The other one was, I forgot who, a Republican. And then there was like another guy from, I think Hawaii, I'm not sure, senator from Hawaii, that they got the funding for this. Okay, so now we know who Luis Elizondo is. So let's hear some of his statements. So this guy, Mauricio Ruiz, he made like a really short compilation video. It's 3 minutes and 40 seconds. You want to hear it? Greg?
Yeah, sorry, I muted myself. Yes.
Okay.
Sorry about that.
Rafi, you want to hear this? All right, let's see. Okay, hold on. So this is Luis Elizondo saying stuff that he's starting to sound like Rabbi Ariel Bartzadok in terms of the kind of stuff that they're talking about. It's starting to merge.
Mhm.
Hang on. 1 second. So basically, the main statement in this, he said that, 1 second. Basically, he says that they are here. That's what he said.
Yeah.
He said this generation will be the first to know and confirm that we are not alone in the universe and we're not alone on the planet. Okay,
Yeah.
hold on. He said, I was at the Vatican and I was shown some very compelling evidence regarding the UAP phenomenon and those behind it. Okay. I'm wondering if this is going to be only text or it's actually going to be verbal statements. Second.
For techno signatures.
Okay, I just want to find the exact moment that he starts talking. Hang on. All right, ready?
Yeah.
Okay, this is going to be Luis Elizondo talking.
Life on, let's say, Mars, and we spend lots of money looking for techno signatures in our Milky Way galaxy through programs like SETI. But we've been here a long time as a species. We've been here for over 100,000 years as Homo sapiens sapien. Is it possible in the quest for answering that question, are we alone in the universe, that maybe that question has already been answered? Maybe they found us first.
Okay, I don't know how. Can you hear that well?
Yeah, but what did he say again?
He said he was talking about people like SETI who were trying to find like signals coming from distant galaxies and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So he's saying that maybe that question has been answered. Instead of looking for bacteria on Mars or signals from faraway galaxies, maybe that question has been answered. Maybe they found us. That's what this guy is saying. So listen, hold on.
Yeah.
A creator has no boundaries, right? So that's
He just said the creator has no boundaries. This is when he was talking to
Interesting.
to the Vatican, people. So they're saying that doesn't preclude, the Bible doesn't preclude God creating other types of life. Anyway, so that's what he just said. So let me continue.
I think ultimately the truth is what it is, and we need to pursue it no matter what. Let's put our feelings aside. I also think there's a lot of hope and excitement. As far as being involved in the UFO community, sad to say, I'm really not. I'm not a UFO guy. I never have been. I'm not a ufologist. I'm not into anything like that. I'm just an ex-intelligence officer that happened to have a job for almost a decade involving UFOs. That is a substantiated fact. But there's historical records in religious texts going way back, including the Judeo-Christian faith system, that these things have been around for a while. When I was at the Vatican, some individuals there have provided some very compelling evidence to suggest that we've been dealing with this phenomenon for quite some time. I think this is exciting times. I think this generation may be the first generation in the history of our species. Think about that for a minute. The history of this planet, to recognize that we're not alone. Give people the ability to learn how to think for themselves, and then they come up with their own conclusions. I have been part of some extraordinary events in history. I have personally witnessed things that can only be classified as extraordinary, and I can't explain it. I don't understand it. To take care of ourselves and our planet, because it's not just us living, right? It's not just us humans. Well, if we do something stupid, well, it's only us that we have to worry about. Well, no. Now we have a stewardship responsibility, right? Now we're sharing this space with other things, and because of that, now we have to maybe act a little bit more responsibly. Not up to us. They're here, whether we want to acknowledge it or not. They're here. The question is why? What's the purpose? We need to start asking ourselves some pretty direct questions about this topic.
My personal belief is that there's very compelling evidence that we may not be alone.
And there is enough information right now that we have in the U.S. government to substantiate that is a very real possibility.
Okay.
Can I ask a question? Where are they if they're here?
So I don't know, they could be well, I've heard him, people ask him like that question. He's like, I don't know. They could be,
Are they living in caves? Are they?
no, well, I think the most common thing that you'll hear, and I don't know if this is real. I really have no idea. Most common thing you'll hear is that they have bases under the ocean or underground bases,
Mhm.
Or they're just outside of orbit. Like, because they're so mobile, because they're so non-limited in their movement, right? Somehow they can defy physics. It's not really an issue of where they can hide. There's a lot of places to hide. They have trans-medium vehicles.
Okay.
It travels equally well in space, in the atmosphere, and underwater.
Okay.
Okay. So this is all the kind of stuff that these guys are saying. This is what Bart Sadok has been saying the whole time. It's starting to merge.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's the most exciting thing going on.
But ultimately, it just seems like there's nothing really being spoken about
So,
on a bigger scale.
right.
And it
So
seems like it seems like nothing is actually happening.
well, okay. So here's like the latest boring development. Okay. There is some kind of legislation. Hang on, let me find it. Okay. Just a moment. There's like a bill, that's being pushed as bipartisan. It says the House of Representatives voted to encourage the sharing of more UFO sightings by adopting a bipartisan amendment to the National Defense Authorization Act, which means that there are plenty of people who want to come forward and testify publicly and in front of Congress, right, about what they know and what they've seen and what they've worked on. They have these, apparently there's rumors about programs that were funded, many programs funded by the government, where you have crash retrieval and, kind of like that guy, like Lazar, when they want to not re-engineer, back engineer, reverse engineer, this kind of stuff when they find it.
Yeah.
Okay. And so apparently these people cannot come forward without being prosecuted or losing all of their, benefits and their pensions and all that kind of stuff. So this amendment was passed to encourage people to come forward, and so that's where they're holding with this. So that it's a very slow release process. It's agonizing.
Yeah. Because
I think that a couple of things could happen to improve the situation on this planet. Okay. You could have, the best thing would be these things just come out and start flying down, Midtown Manhattan or Main Street, anywhere in the world, any main street in the world. Okay. And just be there, and that's it. Now we're there. That's it. That's obviously the best case scenario.
Yeah.
The second runner-up is to have all these government people come forward, like at a big congressional hearing, and really start talking about, stuff that.
But you see that they tried to do that, but everything was in closed session. They had like this corny.
Right. No.
hearing
So
for like an hour, and then everything. Oh, we're going to talk about these things in closed session. Like, okay.
no, that's right. So it hasn't happened yet.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't know what was the point of these lame hearings that they had so far.
It was a waste of time.
But it was a massive waste of time. But at least what's interesting is that I don't know why they're doing this so gradually. It's annoying, but I think the point of that was to now have Congress people, saying stuff in the news, like they're all saying stuff like, "Oh man, if only you would see what they showed us," and that you have these congressmen saying stuff like that.
Yeah.
Which is essentially admitting that they're seeing alien craft in these videos.
Yeah.
Right. So that's like one level. The next thing is to like just have all the stuff and start to show some of the best quality like footage, in public, and then everybody starts talking about only that essentially.
Yeah.
Which is good because that moves the human mind to a spiritual consciousness. That is the inevitable direction of this whole topic.
There's this video of some guy, Blake Cousins, interviewing some guy, Tim something, and it says UFO cover up with Congressman Tim Burchett. Congressman Tim Burchett just told us will blow you away.
Yeah, he's cool, man. He's a Republican, I think, from Tennessee, and he's the most outspoken dude about this whole topic, you know. And it's cool. Like every time he's interviewed, he has a rifle like in his office, you know, like hanging on the wall. He's like a real. But yeah, I mean, that's the point. That's why I talk about this. That seems to be where all this kind of stuff is moving. Okay, I just wish it would go a little faster. And I wanted to just change gears for a moment. And this is like, it is related, actually. Very much related, but it might not be obvious to everybody listening. This is a clip from Gerald Schroeder. It's like 57 seconds, right? And he's talking about he posted the clip and he said, out-of-body experience proved by science. For the folks at home, you should look up who Gerald Schroeder is, and then you'd realize the magnitude of that statement. So I'm going to play it, okay?
I work like almost like BLAKE, Scandinavian world renowned.
Okay, so I forgot that he's a little bit difficult to understand.
Yeah, it's called out-of-body experience proved by science.
Yeah, no, so he was talking about a scientist, a neurologist, whose name is Olaf Blank. Olaf Blank. That's the name everybody has to know.
Interesting. Okay.
Okay. He's done studies, repeatable experiments constantly, where he stimulates a certain part of the human brain, which creates an out-of-body experience.
Can you spell me his name?
Olaf, I would imagine, would be OLAF, and blank is like blank.
There's OLAF. Oh, this guy has a TED Talk like 10 years ago. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
What experience with Olaf Blank?
In that TED Talk, he skirts over everything that's interesting, meaning like he somehow, right? Because he knows the audience, he can't tell them that anything supernatural is going on. So, but what's happening is he's stimulating a certain part of the brain, and people all of a sudden they feel that they're not in their bodies, that they're floating around the room or usually on the ceiling, looking down at them, at their own body and at the other people in the room. Like people have noticed bald spots on people that they didn't know had bald spots. How do you do that if that's a hallucination? It's not. So obviously it's not a hallucination. So out-of-body experience is essentially proof that consciousness is non-local, that the way it attaches to the mind is not exactly, it's not emerged. It's not an emergent property of the brain, but rather it connects to, or the brain is more like a receiver.
That's why it speaks to what you and I talk about always, about the whole thing. If you take the, you know what, you are, you're
talking about DMT?
No, I'm talking about the vaccine. You're in danger of disconnecting.
Well, no, I mean,
from
you're in danger of disconnecting while in the body. Like it'll dull your consciousness. Right. But once you disconnect from the body, your consciousness goes back, it remains what it was before. It's just the body was hampering it more than normal. Because of the like, you can't even have access to the human parts of your consciousness. Okay. So for those, I want to show this to my parents, because, and this is very important to me and to literally anybody who has loved ones that went away. Okay. This essentially shows you that yes, consciousness is real and it's not formed by the body, and it exists outside of the body.
Yeah.
In other interviews, which were awesome, I was looking for it the other day. He was trying to remember which show he was on. He was like on some talk show. I can't remember. Barry something.
Yeah.
So the name of the talk show, the Barry Kubrick, something like that.
No.
Anyway, he was explaining how he was doing some work, or he was involved with some work that's connected to the NSA. Okay.
Mhm. Yeah.
Which he's not allowed to discuss really in detail, but he just mentioned that the government itself is doing a lot of work in something called the morphic field, which is essentially trying to identify where consciousness enters into the brain, and is basically where does the reception occur. So basically behind the scenes, the government, they've essentially accepted the fact that consciousness is non-local, that it's not confined to the body, okay? And they want to be able to harness that somehow. They want to be able to talk to people who are not in their bodies to get information.
Mhm.
For intelligence. This is what Gerald Schroeder was talking about. So this guy does not, he's not prone to flights of fancy. This is a person who was involved in, detonating nuclear weapons, testing them, and all sorts of like applied physics, like real stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, so the fact that this kind of stuff is real, and we have actual science that shows you, right? And have you ever heard of Olaf Blank, Greg?
I have not.
Right. There's a reason for that. Like you talk about conspiracies, like they know the community that, that he is a part of. They know that if people catch wind of this, especially religious people, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's going to create like this like ripple effect of faith. Like people are going to start interesovatsa.
Yeah.
They start looking into
taking interest there.
Matters of faith.
Yeah.
And what's like, afterlife stuff, even though that word is a misnomer. There's no afterlife. You're alive, and then you just keep living, in a different way, but you're still,
Yeah.
Anyway, so basically you have that, and then there's somebody else that he didn't mention, which I think he should have. There's a guy, his name is Dr. Sam Parnia. Okay. He actually did a multi-year study, which was published, okay, about near-death experiences, okay, and how consciousness continues on.
Yeah.
So basically, he said that his data, as far as his data shows, he cannot, if he just sticks to his data, he knows that consciousness continues after death for at least 4 hours.
Yeah.
Based on all of the data that he acquired.
It's crazy.
He's not saying that it's only 4 hours. He's just saying that the data he has goes as far back as 4 hours.
Yeah. Well.
Okay.
Yeah.
So after all bodily functions have ceased, like completely, like, where they're, where people are already put into freezing.
Yeah.
Like well into that, consciousness continues.
Yeah. Well.
Okay. So this is real. This information exists. There are people who did serious work about it. It was published. It's out there. So this is part of. So you see how I'm connecting it to this like UFO thing?
Yeah.
I have a feeling that this information that I'm talking about and this UFO stuff are all going to start coming to prominence around the same time. Call me crazy.
Yeah. Yeah.
I just thought it was interesting that that guy posted those like snippets from Lou Elizondo.
Yeah.
Right. And he put them together, and it like literally was posted at the same time that Gerald Schroeder himself posted this stuff. You know what I
Crazy.
mean? Like that's not, I don't believe in coincidence.
Listen, Hashem, there's this whole idea of like Hashem puts ideas in people's heads simultaneously. We see that with like business world, and it's just a matter of who executes proper in that particular realm. But
No, but what's
it
interesting,
it happens. Yeah.
it happens, but what's more interesting is that it's personalized in
Yeah,
this case.
for sure.
Because I'm subscribed. The only reason I saw these two because I'm subscribed
Yeah.
to both of these guys, right?
Well, and also
Schroeder barely ever posts anything.
and listen, you attracted. Yeah, that's true. But you attracted it, meaning you. Yeah. It's interesting. Yeah, there's a certain consciousness that comes into the world. Can I read you a funny headline I just saw in Daily Mail?
Please.
Turkish Islamic preacher says men without beards cause, quote, indecent thoughts in other men because they look like women.
Oh my God.
That's what Chabad should walk around saying. Everybody should grow a beard because otherwise you're gonna cause problems because you look like a chick.
That's absolutely terrifying to me.
Yeah.
That there are like segments of the world population, right? Where like if you look a little too feminine, that all of a sudden you become like fair game.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, that's like, it's like gay, but it's like, it's super gay.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's like almost too hetero as well. You know what I mean? Because they're so addicted to anything that looks feminine, any shred of femininity.
Yeah.
Right? That, they feel like if they see any shred of femininity whatsoever, that's already considered female or like, or might as well be female.
Yeah.
I don't know how to react to that because like, I thought like, I mean, it is gay, but it's not like the typical type of gayness because like gay guys, they're not necessarily attracted to femininity. I think I thought they were attracted to masculinity.
It depends.
Right? So it's kind of like jail with some of these cultures.
Yeah.
It's like anything remotely feminine becomes female. It's crazy. That's the straightest gay stuff I ever heard. Give me 1 second. That's a lesson. That's a public service announcement for all you pretty boys out there. Just note that this exists, that there are people out there that look at you, that, the fact that you're clean shaven is a very feminine thing, which makes you fair game.
It's weird because you have all these like dudes who are in these Litvisher yeshivas who are like young guys, like clean shaven completely.
Well, this is not really a problem in the Jewish religious world.
Yeah.
We're talking about Islam.
Yeah.
Probably not just, probably like you go to these third world shitholes.
Yeah.
Any place that sucks.
Yeah.
Like jail.
Mhm.
Any place that sucks where you have people who are subject to like serious animalism.
Yeah.
Okay, like I feel like this is probably a common thing in these type of like in barbaric cultures.
Yeah. Hey, what can I tell you, man?
I don't know.
Yeah, but yeah, I don't know what to say. I'm at a loss for words.
So did we solve your issue?
Not really. So, I received a link for something called ISO date. It's video speed dating. This is what my life has become. Russian American Jewish virtual speed dating. Ages 27 to 43.
Listen, I have, it's amazing that you spoke about this, like this imam, right? Who said, the thing about the beards, because it reminded me of this movie, which we may have mentioned before. It's called Not Without My Daughter. I think it was in the early 90s. It was also like, I think it was an HBO film too. Not sure. With Alfred Molina and Sally Field.
1991.
91.
Field, Alfred Molina.
So,
yes,
so this is a guy he married. He plays an Iranian guy. I guess he can pass for Iranian. He plays an Iranian guy who I guess was like secular, and he married Sally Field. And then he went Muslim. And then, he became,
Sayed Bozorg Mahmoudi.
Yeah. So he went and he basically kidnapped their daughter and took her to Iran, where, he can keep her there legally without, the mother has no rights, essentially. So whatever. So why am I bringing this up? I think that's what you should do. I think that you should come to Miami, right? Find just some smoking hot young, Jewish lady from a South American country or whatever. Okay. And just charm her, take her to clubs. Okay. Start dating, right? Just like the old.
You're basically turning me into like a creep.
I'm not turning you into a creep. I'm just saying that, like, in the process of like, dating, because a lot of secular stuff, right?
Yeah.
Right. About clubs, about DJs, you're very worldly, right? So you can impress her with your worldliness, and then she'll come to associate that stuff with the religious stuff that you do.
No, she's just gonna say, I thought you were religious.
Wait, what is she gonna say? I couldn't hear you.
She's gonna say, I thought you were religious.
No, don't. I'm saying don't come off as religious. Like, just be like, like whatever, like regular, right? And then you're gonna take, and then when Shabbos comes around, it's Shabbos.
I'll be like, surprise, man.
No. I'm just saying, like, in the morning, she sees you wearing tefillin. Like,
in the morning.
Shut up, man.
She's gonna see me in the morning.
I'm trying to give you a break. She comes over for breakfast
in the morning.
Okay? Wow. She comes over for breakfast.
I meet her for brunch at like noon, right?
Yeah.
Putting
like obviously, because you're a bum, you're putting on the phone late.
Yeah.
Okay. So she sees that. Okay. And then she comes over for Shabbos. Okay. And then she gradually learns about this kind of stuff if she wasn't aware of it already. And then it's like she sees that you're a normal religious guy, and then she gets inspired herself. Or if it's not happening, as fast as you'd like, you'd say, like, I'm not gonna go Taliban or anything like that, but if we're gonna get married, like, I really need this thing called Taharat HaMishpacha, and which means that that you have to go to the mikveh. It's like really, really important. And I don't know, man, like maybe something like that.
Yeah.
Or maybe you'll get luckier.
You're just chock full of ideas, aren't you?
Yeah, maybe. I think that's not your usual reaction. Usually you're like, no, I did that already.
that I haven't even thought of. I mean, that's
I'm delighted that you didn't, at least you didn't bite my head off.
It's off the wall.
Well, listen, we're in desperate times, and desperate times call for desperate measures. Okay, and there's some beautiful Jewish girl out there who's young, okay, who's of childbearing age, who is waiting for you. All right, and it has to be in this way, and or you just come to Miami and you just meet a chick who's on her way up by herself. All right, there's just so many girls here. The volume itself is good.
Yeah.
It just as a numbers game, it heightens your chances.
Yeah.
All you got to do is go for a walk where you're not supposed to be going for a walk, and you run into people that you wouldn't expect to run into.
Yeah.
Right? Like we were walking on Hollywood Beach.
Yeah. Hilarious. Hilarious. What can I tell you, man?
You go to Mango's, right? You know what I'm talking about?
No.
There's a place in South Beach on Ocean Drive called Mango's,
Hmm.
where it's kind of like this tropical South American themed place where they make these like fruity drinks and stuff like that.
Mhm.
And you have these like sexy Latin dancers and, you know, wearing like these like tights, you know, they're like professional dancers, and they're, you know, and they work as the wait staff there, right? Like you go to a place like that and you'll run into a bunch of Jewish girls who get together. I'm telling you, I've seen it myself. Like have you ever been out to a place like a lounge, a club, and you see a group of girls, you can instantaneously identify them as a bunch of yeshiva, like a Beis Yaakov girls or something like that.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen that? Have you ever experienced that?
Rarely, but yeah.
Or you
Yeah.
go to the beach and
Yeah.
you see like a group of girls that are kind of keeping to themselves. They want to be at the beach,
Yeah.
and you know, they don't exactly have the same
Yeah.
like,
They
you know,
look. They're not
bikini.
showing the same amount of skin as
They're
everybody
not
else.
right. They might be wearing like a one piece or something like that, or maybe
Yeah.
you know, a bikini, but with one of those little shirts, you know,
Sarafan.
like a
As
little,
call it.
like a little jacket, you know,
Yeah,
made of
yeah,
chiffon or something. I don't know what the hell it's made out of.
Yeah.
All right, and you're like, there's a bunch of Beis Yaakov girls. Look at
Yeah.
them.
Yes.
You know, that stuff happens in Israel, and it happens in Miami.
Yes.
It does not happen in New York.
I know. I know.
So
Well,
I think,
we'll
I
see.
think we're onto something. I think we're onto something.
We'll see, my friend. Yeah, you know, it's something to explore. It's something to explore, and you know, and if that doesn't work, I could say to Hashem, listen, Hashem. You know, it's kind of like the movie Team America World Police. You know, where he goes, now I've seen everything, and then he goes, have you ever seen a man eat his own head? No. Then you haven't seen everything, and neither have we, Gary. So now I could say I've tried everything except for eating my own head.
Or what I recommended.
Well, I'm saying like that. After that, and if that doesn't work, then I can say I've tried everything.
But you're not going to say it because it's going to work. It's going to work.
Mizrat Hashem. Mizrat Hashem.
All right, so we'll leave it at that.
Well, prior to that, I could do this. I'm going to do this Russian, Jewish, American virtual speed dating.
Oh my God, are you serious, dude?
For $20. Here, check this out. This is what it says. It says, using our state-of-the-art virtual speed dating platform, singles will get a 3 to 5 minute video dates. Get 3 to 5 minute video dates with potential matches with the option to like/pass after each one, or like or pass. It's fun, easy to take part in, unlike anything you've ever done before. Also, but you get anonymous. It's an anonymous. Like they're not going to know if you like.
So you don't actually see the person in person.
No, you see them. You see them on video, obviously. Yes. Here it says. Start dating. You'll get 3 to 5 minutes with each person before being prompted to like pass anonymously at the end. Oh, so you like pass them. You just say like, okay, bye, nice talking to you, and then you like say, you know, you click on one of the buttons, like hot or not, basically. Our platform automatically refresh your next date, continuing until you have met all potential matches. At the end of all the dates, head back to your profile where you'll find your quote unquote connections. Then you'll be able to message these matches, chatting before. It's just kind of like J-Swipe, except you get to talk to the person. It's actually kind of good. It's much better, I think. Yeah.
You know what Manus Friedman said recently?
What?
Aside from all the stuff he said that pissed me off horrendously.
Okay.
He was actually talking crap about the Jewish dating scene,
Okay.
saying like these like singles events are horrible.
He's right.
No, but here's what he said. He's like, there's nothing worse than that. He goes, you bring all these people together, right?
Mhm.
And then the two best looking people, he didn't say best looking, he said eligible.
Yes.
They instantaneously identify each other,
Yes.
right? And they reject everybody else.
Yes.
Meanwhile, everybody else doesn't want to settle for the leftovers, and they're all, everybody's like, resentful that I'm not going to take, I'm not going to take the leftovers. So
Yes.
nobody else talks to each other.
Yes. Yes. I will testify to exactly what he's saying. Yes. Checks out. Shkoyach. Mm-hmm.
And then he went on to say something how all the bad stuff that happens isn't bad. And then I threw my phone at the wall and continued.
Oh, the bad stuff in general, not just with dating.
Yeah. No, I'm saying like, whenever he gets into that, pisses me off. Don't say it's bad. It's not bad. It's painful.
Mhm. Mhm.
Well, to me, that's the same thing. I don't care about like semantics.
Yeah.
You know?
Dude, man, see, every so often I just like see a video of some like blue checkmark conservative commentator girl, some smokestack on somewhere. Conservative, and she's got a gun. There's like a picture of her with a gun, another picture of her fishing. Where, and she's so chill and so cool and so awesome. Where is this in the Jewish world, man? Where? Show me.
Dude, what you're looking at are baby souls.
I know you've told me this before, but I don't care. Do I sound like I give a shit?
Dude, we don't have baby neshamas in our nation.
Do I sound like I care?
Okay, so go marry a shiksa. What can I tell you?
In the words of my Spanish teacher in high school, do I care? No. This is Cuban woman, Miss Carrera. Do I care? Then you're gonna not do the assignment, and then you're gonna come to me and you
sounds
say,
hot.
no, she was like 75 years old, and she was complaining about how, guys, when I was in school in New York, we had to take something called the Regents. You guys don't have to take that because you're in New Jersey. She's like complaining she's like, and you come to complain to me and you didn't do the assignment. And you say to me, Miss Carrera, I didn't do the assignment. And I say, do I care? No. Dude, man. Do I care? No. I don't care about baby neshama, this neshama, that neshama. I just see what I see. And there's a bigger pool out there. And we're not in, you're not in it. What is it? It's a big club and you ain't in it.
Yeah, man.
And they're awesome. They're so awesome. They rock.
Dude, awesome. Not for us.
Terrible. Torture.
Yes, I think you're getting it now. Welcome. To reality.
Here. I just sent you. Like, she's not even like dressed pretty sneeze. Do this. She's like hunting and I don't know, woodworking and like holding an American flag and cooking and podcasting.
Where'd you send this link? On the phone?
On WhatsApp. Podcasting. She's sculpting I don't know. There's some like, I don't know. She's got a dog. She's got a cat. She's got horses. Awesome. Like, I don't know, man.
Can't find my phone. That's odd.
She's skiing. She's skiing. She skis. She's reading the Federalist Papers.
Oh, that is sexy.
Dude, that's hot as hell.
That really is.
She's packing her, whatever this is, a Glock or a Heckler Koch in her bag. Awesome. She's smiley. She's all smiley. It's not a fake smile. It's like real smile.
She's full of energy.
Full of energy. Smiley. The only thing is she's wearing a cross. She's got hot friends. Dude, like, yeah, there's a picture of her. Sebastian Gorka and this girl. Morgan Zeggers. Workshop of Zeggers Freedom
I know
Flags.
what you're talking about. I know
Turning Point USA.
all of these girls are contacting me on Getter and on Truth Social,
Dude,
and because of my brother, obviously.
these
okay?
like types of these types of girls.
These types of girls, of course.
Can you ask one of them, would you be a Jew?
I can imagine they'll say something like, "We're all Jews because Jesus was a Jew."
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Dude, man. It's just in the words of my Yemenite friend, there's something wrong here. Something is seriously wrong.
That's what he sounds like.
That's what it
That
is. There must be a solution. There's something wrong. We can't live like this. There must be a solution. We have to find a solution. Everything in my life. My father always said, you have to find a solution for everything. And he always did. I find a solution in business, in this and that.
There's Israeli girls like this in Israel.
Like what? Oh, I know, but
like I remember like first encountering like what seemed to me a little bit like slightly feral Israeli girls.
yes.
Like I didn't like I
What do they have? Rabies?
No, I'll explain. Like I wasn't familiar with personality types when I first got to Israel. Like I couldn't tell like necessarily secular girls from like religious girls that grew up on in the quote unquote settlements and places like that, right? And some of these girls are like country girls.
Yeah.
And they took us on a trip. This is part of like the birthright thing or whatever, to this place in near Gaza. I guess it's near the Egyptian border, and it was on the Israeli side, obviously, and it had sand dunes, like real true desert sand dunes.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen that in Israel? It's not that common. You have to go all the way south.
Yeah. Of course I've seen it.
Right. So I was like, what are we supposed to do here? And then the girls are like, oh, let me show you. And they start like running up and down these like sand dunes like they're pros. I was like, holy crap, I didn't even know you could do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's like you saw the guys like who never did that. They tried to do it. They were all clumsy. And these girls were like proficient at it.
Yeah.
I'm talking about that kind of stuff. It's like
but these are women with like male features. I'm talking about something else.
No, my point is that you've never seen Jewish girls be that physical.
I hear.
Like Jewish girls normally are not a physical presence.
I know because
I'm not talking about
what's called Ashkenazism.
I'm not talking about looks. I'm talking about
I know
athleticism.
I know because of Ashkenazism, because of Europeanism, and because of
these girls were Ashkenazi. I mean, they're just.
I know. Ashkenazism doesn't mean it's a cultural thing. It's not.
It's not cultural Ashkenazi. Yeah, right.
It could be Sephardic and be that way.
Yeah, you can be Sephardic and culturally Ashkenazi.
And Shlepi.
Yeah. It's like when where you'll never do a squat, but you'll get your hair done and everything else will be like, just like barely there physically.
Speaking of which, I did I did what you said today. Besides biceps and back, I took it easy a little bit, but I did legs today also. Whatever I could do.
Leg day is important, man.
What?
Leg day is important.
It is important. Yeah, because you can't look like a built-up thing on top and then like a stick on the bottom. You can't.
Nothing looks worse than that.
You can't look like on a stick. It's called on a stick.
By the way, it's a way better look to have like big developed legs.
Yeah.
And just kind of moderately built upper body. That's a way better look because it looks more proportionate and you look better in clothing. You don't look ridiculous.
Yeah. I also did sit-ups. That was good. I just know that when I was doing sit-ups, when I was doing all of this, I'll tell you like this, I should just go every single day now that I have the opportunity, and that will suffice in terms of the endorphins thing that I was talking about. It will suffice. You know what I notice? You hear me?
I'm listening. Yeah, sure.
You know what I noticed? Like I walk into the gym and there's like dudes who are like, you know, ostensibly more built than I am. You know, like I had friends used to tell me, this is not a totally not a gay, no gay thing at all. I had friends used to tell me back in the day
No
that
homo,
like,
no homo.
yeah, no homo thing. We used to work out together, and they used to tell me that like I have like if I only worked out every day, I'd be like jacked. Why? Because I have a very fast not metabolism. I have a very my like my body's learning curve for development is very fast. Like, dude, if I went to the gym for like 2 or 3 weeks straight, like gold. You know what I'm saying? I should just do that.
Man, this stuff takes time. It just has to be a good habit.
It does take time. No, it does take time. But what I'm saying is like, it's a very fat. In my case, I'm not saying to brag. I'm saying like, thank God. Like it's a very. I think that's why I've been lazy with it, just because I think I'm gonna be like, you know, eternally in shape, and that's actually not the case. You know, we know that's not the case. You know, I already see the love handles coming in. That's for sure. And you know, but Baruch Hashem. But I noticed like people just kind of like, how does this guy have like? He's skinny, but he has like kind of some kind of weird definition going on.
That reminds me of Norm Macdonald. He's like, he goes like, I went to the doctor.
Yeah.
And you know, and he did this checkup and
yeah.
And I always thought I have like a horrible body.
Yeah.
You know, I was always skinny. I was always been skinny, right? And I go to the doctor, and then turns out I'm also fat. he's like, I have a horrible body.
Yeah. Yeah, you could be fat and skinny at the same time.
Yeah.
Dude, like when I was here for an extended period of time and I and like you know, not working out, I was super skinny, but I was just like an in shape guy, but then I had like a kind of gut, you know?
Yeah.
And it just looks weird. It just looks like a skinny dude with like a gut. But you know,
that exists.
I have a little bit of that, but you know what? How do you get rid of the little belly? I mean, besides sit-ups, like how do you get rid of that?
You can't get rid of nothing with exercise. It's purely diet, purely.
So basically, the only like I have to basically become a cut out carbs. Basically, is what you're saying.
No, you have to just ingest a very specific amount of calories, and not any more. You have to cut out if you cut out, let's say, first of all, you have to standardize the amount of calories. You have to know what you're supposed to have.
Yeah.
Like for you to maintain the weight currently, not losing, not gaining, so you probably need like 2,500, 2,600 calories, something like that. Just figure it out.
For me, it's not about weight. It's just about what's popping out where.
No, so just okay. Hang on. So you can't selectively choose where fat is gonna go. You have to get rid of like just fat on your body in general.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Right. So in order to do that, and this is just pure math, okay?
Yeah.
You have to find out what your baseline calories are to not gain or not lose any weight.
Yeah.
And then cut from there.
Yeah.
So if you cut, like, let's say, just hypothetically, let's say you're supposed to have 2,500 calories a day to not lose any weight or to not gain. Yeah. So you cut like if you cut like 300 calories a day.
Yeah.
You'll see over time that the fat is going to disappear.
Yeah.
And 3,500 calories equals 1 pound of body fat.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Interesting.
Okay, so if you cut out, let's say, 500 calories from each day.
Yeah.
Right. So you lose a pound in a week.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Yeah. Well, we'll see what happens. In the words of what's his name? Rabbi Kessin. We'll see
They're
what
a basket case.
Basket case.
That's what he says. The world's a basket case.
Oh yeah, the world is a basket case. He's right. He's absolutely right.
I'm going to try to listen to his lecture that just came out, part 2. You know, the darkness and despair.
Yeah.
Try to listen to it now. All right.
Here. So we're on. How long have we been at this tonight?
I have no idea, but I'm very curious as to how this sounds because me and Greg, we've upgraded. We're using microphones now.
When I can see from the comments, some comments that there hasn't been any complaints, so I guess they could hear us okay.
I forgot this is live. on
Yes,
Facebook.
sir. I'm crying. Frank suggested missionary. Oh my God. This
Wait.
lady. I guess she's like a Hadass Betsai, is some lady that listens to us quite often. I think she's either. I think she's a Christian.
She's Christian. She's Christian.
Okay.
And
So,
she's right. I am describing missionary dating, but I was kind of joking.
Yeah.
Actually, I don't know if you heard
She's
Hadass. I don't know if you heard the other one, but I was telling Greg to reverse infiltrate Christian groups like Mormons.
Yeah.
You know, like pretend to be Mormon and then
The smoke tax.
become Jewish. You know.
Yeah.
So that would be awesome.
Well, that's kind of like what Roseanne did. I mean, she was, she was raised partially Mormon in Utah.
You mentioned that, yeah.
Yeah. So I should call her and ask her, hey, what do you recommend?
If we interviewed Roseanne, what were we talking to her about? I would have no idea how to go about
everything. She talks about the Erev Rav and MK Ultra and just like she's happy to talk Torah and Kabbalah. She will talk to you about the UFOs if you want.
So basically it'll be like, I'll be like, Roseanne, MK Ultra, go.
No, it won't be like that. We'll just start talking, and then she'll just, I don't want to use the word blurt out something. She'll just say something, and we will just, spend like 30 minutes or 40 minutes on that, and then we'll somehow jump over to something else. That's kind of the way my conversation with her went, both on the phone and in person at dinner. It's just conversation, but she's a little bit, in a good way, she's all over the place, but it's very entertaining. It's very informative. It's funny, actually, she was upset at James Caan when he was still alive in blessed memory. He wanted to buy. She told me he wanted to buy her house, and then he reneged or something like that. She's like, don't do business with James Caan. He's a whatever, he's a reneger or something like that. And I remember what she wrote to me. It was actually very, very funny. So just imagine her and James Caan arguing about, like a Larry David episode kind of thing.
That would be amazing. I'd never even considered something like that.
It's very funny. And then when he passed away, I was like, man, I wonder what she, how she feels about James Caan passing away.
Man, what a comedy line. It's too bad that she's never been on Curb Your Enthusiasm. That would just be
dude, that would be. Well, I mean, he's a schmuck. He's an anti, Trumpist, obviously, and he's an idiot.
It's such a shame. He's really a comedy genius, and he should know better. I feel like he should know better.
Hold on a second, man. Hold on.
He should know better.
Hold on a second, man.
Yeah.
Hold on.
He should know better. Hold on. Yeah. The hell? Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. My mother just told me about a guy who was given 10 years in prison by Putin. Some guy in North Ossetia. You know this place, right? By part of part of Georgia.
Yeah.
He's like for doing what you're doing now, which I guess is podcasting.
And what happened to him again?
He got sent to prison by Putin.
Gosh.
Listen, that's how he rolls, That's how he rolls. Yeah, our friend Chris Wood says we sound much better. and that Roseanne is quite knowledgeable. I don't know. I want to try to get her on. I'm going to email her straight up and be like, listen, Frank Zelenko wants to do a podcast with you on Zoom. Let's do this.
You're gonna try to guilt her into doing a podcast.
I'm not going to guilt her. I'm just going to drop a name, namely yours. That's it.
I'm not a name, dude.
Your name. You have a last name.
You're like, Frank Zelenko. Don't you feel bad for him?
I'm going to say Frank Stallone. Frank Stallone of the
truth movement.
Of the whatever movement, whatever the hell this thing is, wants to talk to you, and I'm going to moderate the whole thing, and we're going to do this, lady. The thing is, I was told that Lowell told me that she's actually keeping a little bit incognito. She actually wrote that to me as well. For the time being, until the congressional elections, which I don't understand why, because we understand what may happen, unless we just completely overwhelm their stupid fraud system. So whatever. So we have to wait basically another 4 months until we could talk to her. That's my understanding.
That's fine. I'm not in a rush to,
Yeah, me neither. And the good thing is that she didn't take this this garbage in her body, and she's not going to. So, Zat Hashem,
who should we interview next on our on our best behavior with?
Oh,
I want to interview Reuven Wolf. You know what? Even though like he never got back to me or whatever, you know what's funny? Recently, his father called me.
Oh, really? How old is his father? Like in his 90s or something like that?
Reuven Wolf is not that old. He's like probably like in his early.
All these Lubavitcher guys, they look older because of the beards.
Early to mid 50s, probably.
Oh, interesting. But what his father want? Just like the treatment?
No, it was just his father was just calling something related to my brother. He had a recommendation for the family, whatever. He's nice, actually very nice guy.
Yeah. Also Lubavitcher.
No, he's not a Lubavitcher at all.
Really? So Reuven Wolf is a
yeah, no, he's new. He's basically he's from a Hasidic family, but like like one of those small Hasidic groups, like very and he kind of grew up like a Mir, like a Flatbush area.
Sure.
Mir yeshiva type guy.
Kind of like Hamish family almost.
Yeah, very Hamish, very Hamish, just but essentially new to relatively new to Chabad. But I got to be honest, his shiurim on the Maimarim of the Rebbeim, Chabad, are the best.
Yeah, that's what I keep hearing. I gotta get into them. I gotta get cracking.
So get him.
You know what I felt like when I was in the gym? Speaking of which, I was like in the gym, and obviously I'm not wearing a kippah. I'm just kind of like this guy. You don't know who I am. I felt like I was like I thought back to what Laser Brody told me that to my face. Rabbi Laser Brody, he said that I'm Hashem's Mossad agent on the inside.
Laser Brody said that to you?
Yeah. You know what? I told you when he said that, right? I saw basically what happened was, this is like 2013, and this is when I was working for the Lieberman organization, like that organization is attached to Lieberman, Avigdor Lieberman. So for work, I went to the presidential conference in the convention center in Jerusalem, and it was Perez's 90th birthday. Perez, the robot terrorist murderer. Yeah, it was him, and it was Robert De Niro, and it was I think Bill Clinton was there at one point, and it was Sharon Stone. David Axelrod was there. He was a class A, scumbag. So I went there, and I spent about 6 hours there, and the only I don't know time frame of MS that I actually heard there in my 6 hours there was, that lady Ayan Hirsi Ali, the Somalian woman, whatever. Yeah. So basically, there was a tiny packed room, filled to the brim to hear her speak, and she was talking about Islam and the Muslim, women in the Muslim world and all this kind of stuff, the usual stuff that she talked about. So that was the only MS that I heard for 6 hours out of 6 hours, which includes some side symposium with the head of the Bank of Israel, Stanley Fisher, which was more hot air. So I left, And I remember that, like, I basically got on the light rail from, I guess, Tachana Merkazit, and I went all the way to the Shmuel Navi stop, where Chut Shel Hesed is, where that yeshiva is. It's basically the stop, like 2 stops after, like the center of town. And I was like, every Wednesday, Rabbi Eliezer Brody gives a shiur there. So I go there. I don't remember what he said. I just sat there for like an hour. I listened to him, and I came up to him and I said, I just want to thank you for existing. And then he goes to me, listen to me. He's like, and I told him where I just came from. He's like, listen to me. He's like, and I didn't tell him what I do for a living. He just said to me, you've seen both sides of the coin now. He's like, you are Hashem's Mossad agent on the inside. And I'll never forget that.
That's what I always thought about myself before the beard.
What? Oh, okay, fine.
No, the same exact thing. It's the same exact idea. It's like, I'm like the Rebbe's secret agent. Like nobody knows, like
Dude,
one day in the future, he's be like,
yeah,
here's my secret agent.
Listen, I hope.
I doubt that, but it's a nice fantasy.
For sure, the girl standing in front of me with the yoga pants was a test of the emergency broadcast system, which I guess I passed because I just like looked down on the floor, not on the floor, like I kind of looked, kind of diagonally on the ground. Because normally, also, it's something I do when I'm lifting and I'm lifting something, I'm trying to like focus, and to when I'm lifting something that is a little bit, I'm trying to max out. So I'm trying to focus on a point. They say like focus on a point in the like find a point on the wall or on the floor, whatever,
Yeah.
So anyway, I was doing that, even if she wasn't there, but it gave me more incentive.
I got to tell you, I'm grateful to not be like, girls are beautiful, but I'm grateful to not be dating those kind of girls, because like, it's weird. Like, all right, that's her boyfriend.
Yeah.
Right. Like, what if you're dating her and like she's walking around in yoga pants? You literally know what everybody's thinking.
And there's other dudes looking. Yeah. So it's like I don't want to go. Yeah. I don't.
So I'm like, now you got to fight everyone.
Yeah. Like, yeah.
Just walking around just punching dudes,
dude.
Right? Because they're thinking that. It's like, you don't even have to ask. So that sucks.
Listen, it's kind of like with the whole thing of meeting a girl, even a frum girl on one of these, like apps. You're fighting, 20 other guys.
Gosh,
you're getting lost in the crowd.
So repulsive.
You have a pretty high chance of being friend zoned, and to get out of that, solitary confinement cell is basically impossible.
I have nothing against salmon. I just don't want to be one.
Yeah.
Okay, it's like salmon struggling, mass swimming upstream to spawn. This is nauseating.
Yes.
Nauseating.
Yes. Just say thank you got married when you did.
I wasn't even trying to.
Okay. So, the problem is that the people that are around me, I have to pretend or make it look like I'm trying. So I could say, see, I'm trying, and it's not my fault. Otherwise, if I don't even look like I'm trying, if I just look like I'm just kind of like, shooting the breeze or whatever, then they're just like, oh, he doesn't even want to get married, or he's like, he wants to be a bachelor. Dude,
I'm telling you, you got to go rogue. Forget about these people. Forget about them.
I know, but some of these people I can't forget because some of them are, two of them are my parents.
Okay, so that's not what we're talking about.
Yeah. Oh, the other people, I don't care. I don't care what anybody else thinks. The only opinions I cared about ever in my entire life is probably.
You're not trying. How do you expect? If you don't.
At some point they were like, "No, он не хочет жениться. Ну что делать? Не хочет жениться." I'm like, he doesn't want to get married.
They might actually have a point. Can I explain to you what I mean?
Okay.
I heard this thing again from Manners Friedman. Okay.
Uh-huh.
Where where he's like, you don't get married for love.
Yeah.
You get married because you want to be a wife. You get married because you want to be a husband.
Yeah.
Like that part comes prior to everything. Like first you gotta, you want to be a husband because obviously it's related to God. You know what I mean? Like you have to see yourself as a husband first. Like he was saying stuff like that.
You're absolutely right, but can I tell you something? When I was engaged to my ex-fiance, and I remember we went to my parents' 60th birthday party in this like kosher Russian place in Brooklyn. And so my parents invite all their friends, and their friends haven't seen me in a while because I had just gotten back from Israel. And obviously my ex and I, at the time, we were, at least in terms of publicly, we were Shomanagia publicly. We didn't do PDA, you know? And my mother came up to me,
PDA,
public displays of affection.
I know it is a very horrible thing. And
I know. I'm saying we didn't do that. Fine. What I'm saying is, so my mother came up to me afterwards, or that evening at home, and she said, "Ты не представляешь, сколько людей подошли ко мне и сказали, что они не видели у вас никакой любви. They felt so sorry for you. Они видели coldness, у вас было coldness." You know, she's like, you can't imagine how many people come up to me. People have known you since you were, you know, like
because
kid.
Russians, you know
It's just
why?
like,
Because Russians are like Gorka.
No, well, yeah, but not only Gorka. No, just like there was not even, forget about Gorka. There was like not even like, you know, holding hands or anything.
Tell the folks at home what Gorka is.
Gorka is like when some, you know, a Russian couple, they get married, and then somebody is like, you know, everybody's doing shots, and they're like, everybody's like, Gorka means bitter. So
Everybody wants
yells Gorka, you got to kiss the person in front of everybody.
No, that usually that they want to, everybody wants to see the engaged couple make out in front of the whole.
Yeah.
To show how passionate your love is.
Or it's a married, usually it's a married couple. Yeah. So they were like, no, but the point is that you need, that it has to be, meaning not the physical aspect. I'm talking about Lyubov has to be there. The initial infatuation, the thing that gets you there initially it is a prerequisite, man. It is, because otherwise it's just, and I've been there, man. It's hell. It's hell. It's a disservice to the woman. Because
did I ever contest that? What do you?
I know. I'm just making sure. I'm just reiterating. No, because listen, man. Because a lot of people can misconstrue what man is Friedman. He's not just him. Other rabbis say similar things, and they could say, well, love is not even in the equation, like it doesn't even need to be there, right? And it does need to be there. It does. Because you know why? Because I have a friend, dude, listen, I have a friend in Israel who's on the brink of divorce. Why? Because he married his wife because, yeah, she showed the ability to, you know, to be a good mother and a good wife, but he's not in love with her and he's not into her, and she can feel that. You know how that manifests in her screaming at him. She doesn't have psychological problems. She's just doing this out of a subconscious because she knows that he's not into her. She knows it. She knows it openly. She knows it. Not that she senses it, only senses it. She knows it for a fact.
I don't want anybody to be misrepresented. So I just want to clarify. Well, I never heard Manis Friedman say that love is not, it doesn't need to be there.
I know. I'm not saying he said that. I'm saying that a lot of people can just run with that, run with what he's saying into another direction. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Into the wrong direction. They could be like people that I know who a rabbi told them, well, poop or get off the pot, and they married a person who, again, they're not.
He was
this or that, and then the person is.
He was speaking generally, like hashkafically.
I understand.
You know, just kind of like, I'm saying philosophically.
I get it.
He was saying that the love thing is something that pertains to her.
Correct.
It's not her.
I know.
Right? Like her beauty is something that pertains to her, but it's not her.
Yeah.
That kind of stuff.
Dude, what I'm saying is a lot of Bali Tshuva, and I've seen this, and I almost saw this with myself. They take that stuff and they run with it into really stupid places, and they marry the wrong person because it's just, you know, time to get married. It's time, you know, for men, it's time to start, you know, playing down there in your pants. And for women, it's time to be a mother, you know, whatever. And people,
you know what? It just occurred to me how to solve this whole issue, at least from the rabbi perspective.
Okay.
Okay. We got to take rabbis on a vacation package, on a cruise, or to Curacao, right? And then after that, you got to take them to a couple of Russian
Force them
weddings.
to look at stuff. Is that what your solution is?
Yes, listen. You take them, and then you take them clubbing. Okay, like you give them a good sample of everything. Like Victor Calderon, the gay scene, or just to be diverse. And then you take them, you take them to like Danny Tenaglia, who's not solely gay. They will understand where we come from, and then they will stop trying to give us this dumb.
Dude, this is why. Can I tell you something?
They're bumpkins.
This is why my rabbi is my rabbi.
Dude, religious
Sure,
Jews-
because he comes from the same world that we come from. Basically, he was
Listen,
in the
yes,
clubs and he was going to be an actor. He understands me.
right. Religious Jews,
We actually
for the
talk.
most part, most rabbis are country bumpkins
Yes, I know.
when it comes to worldliness.
Not only country, just it could be city bumpkins. But yeah, I know what you mean.
Okay, they don't know stuff. They don't understand. They've never. I mean, we can't get them to eat good.
And the ones that do know stuff, like the
They're
ones
not
that
gonna
are
eat
Bali, the ones that
non-kosher.
are Bali Tshuva, completely discarded everything. Like the guy that I met, this one rabbi who used to be a producer on Bohemian Rhapsody, and then when I asked him about it, all I did was ask him about, can you please tell me about your experience with like the creative musical process with what's his name, Freddie Mercury. That's all I was asking. I didn't ask him to tell me the stories of doing drugs. or
Right? He's
this.
like, yeah. And then
I just wanted to know, what was it like to work with and create a song with the musical genius by the name of Freddie Mercury. This rabbi turned red and changed the subject because his kids were there, whatever. It was like, I don't know. Like, seriously? You want to do Kirov, bro? That ain't the way.
no, his care of
It's the anti-Kirov right there.
his care of style is, I know where you're coming from. It's all horrible. It's all
Yeah.
toxic. And
Yeah.
then move. You got to get away from it.
Yeah, let's talk about being Haredi.
Right. That's the only type of guy that is acceptable.
Yeah.
To do care of work in the Haredi. They're not gonna hire somebody who's like not who didn't hate where he came from.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not so much Chabad, but the
Oh,
other
no.
like the other care of organizations. That's the way they go for it. They're like, you got to show them how toxic,
Yeah,
where they're from is.
yeah.
That's it.
There's no
So
way.
these-
There's no way to Makadosh any of these things.
Right. So there's no the only problem, the only flaw in my plan about taking the rabbis and showing them stuff is that they're not gonna eat any of the awesome food that we ate.
Yeah, that's true. Dude, by the way, there's apparently a restaurant in Spain that is a Michelin star restaurant, and now they have kosher. I just don't know if the kosher, like they make a
Hang on
kosher.
1 second. I'm sorry. Hang on. Give me 1 second. I gotta run upstairs to get baby wipes. 1 second.
Not a problem.
Hang on.
Oops.
Back.
All right. Yes.
Yeah. Like they're not gonna know what it's like
Yeah.
to kind of like go out somewhere and then like, get some like breaded mozzarella sticks and well, I mean, a lot of that stuff I didn't like. Like my friends seem to like those squid tentacles. What are they called? The deep fried
Oh, you talking about the fried calamari?
calamari.
Oh, I
right?
love that stuff, bro. Remember
Right.
El Greco, which is now an apartment building?
El
Greco. Hello?
They turned El Greco into an apartment building.
Yes, it's
That's
a
like-
luxury. It's a
That's
luxury
like
apartment.
closing Ebbets Field.
It's an apartment building. It's a nice apartment building, and downstairs, actually no, downstairs is a burger joint, and the rest of the building is an apartment building with like a pool and all that kind of stuff. Yes, it's like closing Edwards Field. It's
El
an
Greco was literally
institution.
an institution.
Dude,
it
you
was
walk
just-
into El Greco 2 o'clock in the morning. Automatically there are the pickles, the half sour, and the coleslaw.
Yeah, yeah.
And then you get cheese fries with gravy. And then yes, my friends would order the fried calamari with the marinara sauce. and then you get the burger, and you're good.
Yeah, man.
Life is great.
They're not gonna know what it's like, to go get like a French onion soup at a good Greek diner. Like they don't. That's a really important part of
They're not
understanding.
gonna know what it's like to be called Malaka by the guy named by the owner whose name is Christopher.
Malaka. What are these
Chris.
Malakas?
Hello, my name is Chris, and this is my nephew Chris and Nikki and Chris and Nikki and Nicholas.
He's a Malaka.
My Greek wedding is like, this is Nicholas and Nick and Chris and Nick.
You know the famous Malaka scene from Weird Science?
No.
You know the movie Weird Science, right?
I know Mirza. I don't remember the Malaka scene. Hold on.
Remember when she took him to a blues club with like BB?
Here we go. Yeah, I'm pulling it up now. Here, I'm gonna play it. Here.
Tell me something. What's a beautiful bride like you doing with a malaka like this?
It's purely sexual.
No shit.
She's into malakas, Dino.
Rafi's not my son. My son's not into Malakas.
Dude, this is hilarious.
Dude, that is one of the great. That is comedy. That scene, by the way, with Anthony Michael Hall.
Yeah.
He puts on his like black blues persona.
Yeah.
And they go along with it too. That's the funniest part.
Yeah.
He's like, "What's this fool talking about?" He goes, "Well, we'll explain it to him." BB King. He's like, "We'll explain it to him."
Yeah. Dude, man. Unbelievable. It's so sad that like all the movies that we from this era, nobody would even attempt to make stuff like with those lines, with those scripts, because you can't say 80% of the stuff. You can't even say it. Like you would just be, these people would be burned at the stake. What do you think?
Burned at the stake.
Your silence tells me everything I need to know.
Burned at the stake, man. I'm just shaking my head,
Well, sir, we are.
I wish I could. I'll say this one last thing, because as I'm thinking about this movie and what you're saying, like I'm holding my I ordered. Remember I told you about the gotcha gun, the gotcha paintball gun?
Yeah.
From the 80s. Like I
It's like
I ordered it. It's literally brand new.
Yeah.
I'm looking at it. It's like блестяще. It's like it's
Shiny.
incredible.
Shiny. Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm holding it, and it's literally like being back then. It's a
Amazing.
3-year-old toy,
Amazing.
and it's just pristine. And it's amazing. It's like
It's like a time capsule.
it's a time capsule. I'm also looking at Simon. Do you remember that game, Simon?
Yeah, Simon's great. Oh, that name. Great game.
All right, that game was mesmerizing. It was like being at a club.
Mhm.
Even the music, even the sound it made, right?
Yeah.
It's like you could take X and play Simon, man.
Here.
You could have Darren Emerson playing in the background.
Here. Here. Here.
Thank you, Hani. I appreciate.
Let's see the commercial for Simon. Simon to a commercial in 1980. There. Oops. Yeah, see this? Oh my God, these ads! I can't take it.
Simon with
Oh, this is brand new. I want to see the one from
Hang
1980.
on, I saw one recently. Let me see if I can find it.
you.
There we go.
Hang on. Simon, hold on. The Simon 80s commercial. One second.
Yeah, but I want to see it like in action. I want to see here like the here.
You're mine.
Listen.
Yeah.
Nope, that's not the one. Shit.
Where's the one where it's like you hear the actual noise?
Yeah, that's what I'm looking for. Hold on.
Here, 80s ads, Milton Bradley.
1992. Hold on. I think I got it.
Okay. They have a Simon Optics. That's pretty cool.
Do you hear it?
What's the No, I barely hear it. Like barely, barely.
Okay, so look up, maybe you hear it better from your system. Look up 1992 Milton Bradley Simon commercial.
There you go. Okay. This is it.
What does it feel like to play
Very quiet.
I can hear it well.
You can hear it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it sounds like Twilight.
Dude, this commercial is what made me want to go to clubs. I remember this.
Hold on. There you go.
Simon. The sounds and colors. Think fast. What does it feel like to play Simon?
Sick. They probably got like a guy who was like producing stuff for like Limelight to make this commercial.
Dude, this commercial got me so hyped. You kidding me? I feel the same exact way now as when I saw it when I was 10. Are you kidding me? Like, look at the energy that they had.
Yeah. Sign it. Yeah.
He's like, it's intense. And by the way, our cartoons had incredible intros, like
man.
Musically.
Oh man, yeah.
Like play Mighty Max intro. I think we might have done this one time.
Mighty Max?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we did. Yeah, we played it. But I'll play it again for the folks at home.
It's metal.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like sick.
That's crazy for kids. What?
It's better than any music I hear like on
You heard that riff? Like, what the
Yeah.
hell? So you could literally fight after listening to this.
What about Beverly Hills 90210?
Oh man, I don't remember what that
Intro
sounds
song.
like.
Da-da-da-da-da-da. Hello.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right.
You know what I'm saying? Da-da-da-da-da.
Yeah, I forgot. Oh, man, that was crazy. I haven't heard that.
Oops.
I never really liked 90210 that much, to be honest with you. I just like Jenny.
Oh yeah.
What was her name in the?
He's about Kelly, not Jenny. Kelly.
Her name was Jenny Garth, the actress.
Yeah, she played. Yeah.
She's like a mega smoke.
The blonde. Yeah.
No, there's two. There was Donna, and then there was a
Yeah,
couple.
Jenny Garth, she kind of looked like a little bit of a hamster to me. There was a girl I went to high school with who had the locker next to me, kind of looked like Jenny Garth a little bit. And I don't know, it was a little bit.
I don't know. I thought she was awesome when I was.
She was all right. Yeah, she got a little bit of plain Jane-ish.
I was 10, and she was awesome. Okay. So, we'll just leave it at that.
You know who I thought was great? Do you remember when they had Saved by the Bell, but they were in that resort? And when
You're saying they had an episode at a resort?
not one episode. There was a few episodes where they were working at a resort, and Zach was like Leia Remini was like the daughter of the guy who ran the resort.
Yeah. And her father was
Hiroshi.
like a kind of like short, fat dude.
Yeah. So she was like from Brooklyn or something. Dude, man. Like, so Leia Remini in those episodes.
She's a beautiful girl.
Fantastic. But like specifically there. Fantastic.
You look too. No, I'm saying she looked exactly like the girls I grew up with.
Yeah. Exactly the girls I grew up with. And
You know who's a perfect model of the type of girl that I grew up with?
Okay.
Marissa Tomei, that actress.
A little bit, yeah.
That's exactly who I grew up with.
Yeah. I had a teacher who kind of looked like a little bit of an older version of Marissa Tomei.
It wasn't even like the way she looked that much, even though that's true too. I'm just talking about her, her personality, the way she sounds. Like, not like my cousin Vinny was a bit of a caricature, but it was a lot like that.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Any event, sir.
so let's call it.
Yeah. Let's call it a night.
All right,
I think this is good. This is good. We solved some things.
this is, well, let's see. I mean, it's an experiment, and I'm very curious to hear when you upload it to YouTube. I want to hear what it sounds like.
Yeah.
All right.
Not the show.
All right, man.
All right. I'll talk to you soon.
Arrivederci.
Later.